cannot find us on Facebook. And then also on YouTube, it is saying that it is an upcoming event.
All right, so that would be a big fat no.
No.
So let's try to get us up there.
Yeah, I'm getting it now.
Get it, boy.
Get it, son.
Let's get it. All right, we'll get to our first guest on the program here in mere moments. We're going to talk to Jared Plummer, better known on social media as Pack the Jungle, because there is a GoFundMe for the injured ECU commit Parker Byrd, who suffered a boating accident, and man, it is getting updates from his mother each and every day, and he is going through, and that family's going through quite a bit right now. So some financial help to ease the pressure going on there would be helpful, and Jared and the Pirate Nation have certainly stepped up here, and we welcome all Jared Plummer to the program. Jared, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Hope you guys are.
We are. By the way, we still have your megaphones hostage, so you can come pick those up at any time.
What's funny you said that. I was going to send a message out and say, hey, fellas, at some point in time, I'm going to get it back, right?
Yeah, we feel kind of bad. Like, we went 1 week without shooting the promo, and we were like, we need to get this thing done because Jared's going to want his megaphones back soon.
Well, it's not even me as much as it's Bennett. I mean,
yeah.
3-year-old's the one that I have to explain, why his megaphone's missing. Whatever. I mean, honestly, but he likes Mr. Chandler, so, I think we're good.
Oh, good.
Well, that's a good thing.
Good to hear. All right, Jared, baseball season's so special. The Jungle family, the Pirate family, you've got the team itself, Cliff Godwin. It's all kind of one big unit together. And, I mean, no better example of that as to what's happening right now with Parker Byrd, who suffered that accident. And a GoFundMe has been set up, and you have been kind of spearheading this thing and giving updates on it. So let's talk about the initial goal, Jared, and where you are today with that.
Well, frankly, what kind of happened, what's interesting about his story is that, nobody, I can guarantee hardly anybody knows or has physically met this kid. He just reported to campus, June 23rd. So he's an incoming freshman. Nobody in Pirate Nation, unless they happen to live there locally around where he's from, Scotland County, knows who this kid is. But he actually followed the Jungle back when he first started. He committed back 4 years ago, and so I've actually known him and kind of kept up with him through the years. And when this incident happened and learned that maybe a lot of people reached out, hey, what can we do? I set up this GoFundMe account, and I figured, what the heck, let's just kind of see what we can get. I started with the $5,000 goal. It was certainly not all that ambitious, but I figured let's just kind of see if we can get any kind of traction. And I've intentionally done kind of smaller goals to kind of hopefully get a little excitement. And it's been, actually, I was just looking it up. We're only a couple $100 away from 40,000 American dollars.
Yeah,
isn't that insane?
$260 away, I believe, from $40,000. Yeah.
How insane is that, right? How cool. Look, and it goes back to the whole, look, nobody knows. I mean, when I say this, I don't mean that with no disrespect to Parker, but, you don't know this kid. This isn't like a starting player who's been on TV and all this stuff, regional, super regionals that ECU's used to doing. This is a kid that nobody really knows, but the fact of the matter is, and look, and I had a chance, actually, probably about 2 hours ago, I ran by and actually met his father for the first time. He and I had been DMing back and forth over the last few weeks. But I had a chance to meet him, and what was really cool about it is this kid is a Pirate, man. And I could choke up right now after talking to his dad, but he only wanted to play for ECU. When he was in high school, he had met Coach Palumbo, met Coach Godwin, and in between, showcase games and tournaments and stuff, he'd wear ECU gear. Got to the point where his coaches were like, hey, Parker, you may want to wear some neutral stuff. There's other coaches that are going to be wanting to recruit you. He's like, yeah, but I just want to play at ECU. But, I mean, how cool is that? That a kid who literally bled purple and gold before he was 4 years away from being able to wear the purple and gold.
Yeah.
And Pirate Nation is doing this. It's just, it's all inspiring, man. It's cool.
It is very cool. And just for folks that don't know about the story and how serious it is, he has had a portion of his leg amputated at this point, and there's still trying to figure out the end game here. So it's like a day-to-day, hour-to-hour thing, right, Jared?
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, it was to the point where and his father was telling me that so a normal blood pressure is 120/80. On the flight over from Bath, from the dock over to ECU Health in Greenville, his blood pressure was a 60/30, and he had just lost so much blood. And the people who did the first aid and stuff absolutely saved his life. And then once he got there, kid's been in a fight for his life, and the attitude that the families had and their faith has been just awe-inspiring. But look, I mean, it's a tough deal. The kid's going from being a stud middle infielder with great power, with a great bat, to he's fighting for his life. And but yeah, he did. They made the decision, I guess it was yesterday, to go ahead that they needed to amputate. They were hoping to do around mid calf or around mid shin, so he could have a little more function, but they didn't have enough of a blood supply in the muscle surrounding it. So they did go ahead and do a slightly higher, but still below the knee, which is pretty significant from a functionality standpoint going forward. But I just talked to the father like a couple hours ago, and he's in shockingly great spirits, especially after hearing that it seems like from the surgery that they did today, knock on wood, they feel like that they can stop right where they are. They're going to have a follow-up surgery on Monday morning to finish closing up the wound around where they had the amputation. And then we'll just go from there. But look, the guy's been fighting a roller coaster, so we got to keep the prayers up and keep the donations coming.
Jared Plummer joining us, Pack the Jungle at ECU Jungle on Twitter. Just another example of the Pirate Nation coming through. Great people out there. And if you want more information, want to donate, Jared's got all the information on his social media account there, a link to the GoFundMe. Also looks like there's a Venmo account opened up as well, Jared.
You got it. Yeah, I've got a little ECU Venmo account, ECU Jungle Venmo account. For some people, they just don't do GoPro, and don't do GoFundMe, and that's actually a little. You don't have to pay the extra fees associated with the GoFundMe. But look, whatever. Look, and frankly, if they really want to, they can DM me. If they live in town, they just want to do a check, I'll come by and pick it up.
Jared, great stuff, man. Keep it up. You're Mr. Pirate, Mr. Purple. So appreciate you joining us today with this information and for what you're doing there for Parker and his family. And come get your megaphones, and we'll see you soon, man.
All right, sounds good, guys. Y'all have a good one. Go Pirates.
Thank you, Jared. There's Jared Plummer. Man, just trying to make the absolute best out of an absolutely terrible situation. And you get the updates every day from Parker's mom, and she continues to say things like, we can't believe this is happening, we can't believe this is reality, but it is. And when something happens, you got to respond quickly, and you got to do the best you can, make the best out of it. They are trying their hardest to do that in just impossible time right now. I mean, as somebody with a child, like you hope if something bad's going to happen, it happens to you and not your child, because you feel so helpless. And it's like, it is the worst feeling in the world. Can't imagine what they're going through right now. But again, Jared and the Pirate Nation stepping up, trying to help, doing the best they can, all that they can.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've been kind of watching this since the GoFundMe page has, since Jared had opened that up and started sharing the link. I just been not only keeping an eye on that, but just keeping up with the story in general. And unfortunately, we were really, I was really hoping that he was able to keep his leg, and unfortunately that did not happen. But he is still here, so we can count our blessings for that. And as a matter of fact, I've been watching the dollar amount, and we are now just $85 short of that $40,000 goal on
That's
the
awesome.
GoFundMe page. And Jared didn't mention this, but I do want to shout out the American Athletic Conference actually donated $500 towards or to the GoFundMe page. So, and that's saying something for a conference that has, all of these schools that they, are paying attention to. And, and we're talking about a player that has not set foot on ECU's, ball field, not once. He's not been here yet. He's not here yet as far as, being a player. And I certainly hope that, and I'm sure that Cliff Godwin has got something in mind, but I would love to make sure that he remains a part of the ECU Pirate baseball family.
Sure, absolutely.
We are nearing $40,000 in fundraiser right now for Parker Byrd, where it was initially a goal of $5,000.
Yeah.
And the growth of the goal, I mean, he's having to go in like every few hours and raise the goal because of the support that the community and people around college baseball are showing. Just like Shirley said, even the American Athletic Conference is chipping in. And I think Jared made a good point. This is a kid who is not a star on this team, or wasn't yet, and he had just stepped on campus and is getting the love and support from so many people. I mean, $40,000 is crazy.
I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I mean, for anybody. I mean, and you got to keep in mind, too, this is a long path to recovery for Parker because, there's a lot of things that you have to do. There's just a lot of things that you got to do just to, make that full recovery, not only from a physical standpoint, but a mental standpoint as well. So, we are hoping for the very, very best, and hopefully this will, this next surgery that's going to go in and kind of close up the wound, hopefully that'll be the last one he has to have. And he can start that road to recovery. But I got to say that, awfully impressed with the amount of support that this kid has gotten.
And shout out to everybody that's chipping in and is helping out and contributing to this almost $40,000 goal. But shout out to Jared Plummer, Mr. ECU Jungle, who is just a true pirate in himself, and it doesn't shock me at all that he started this and is showing so much support for this future pirate.
Jared just added the commissioner of the AAC sent flowers personally today. He also said Mike Houston sent a helmet signed by the football team.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
It's about, the financial support that you're going to need when you have surgery and bills such as this, but also you mentioned the mental side, but just morale and just
the emotional support. Not
a lot to smile about right now when you're in that situation. So anything helps, and that's really cool to see everybody chipping in, pitching in, doing what they can to try to make this awful situation just a little bit better. So there is that. Thanks to Jared for joining us, getting that information out here on Pirate Radio Live. Couple other quick things before we take a break, get to Billy Weaver. Chandler, if you went out this weekend and shot even par, man, you'd be calling everybody you knew, telling them.
Yes, shooting even par by myself, absolutely. Yeah. I would be tickled, and I would literally be calling everybody, especially my golf buddies, saying, hey, guess what I just did? But, yeah, I would be so tickled.
Harold Varner III shot even par the first 2 days.
Was it good
Wyndham,
enough?
And that's not going to get him to Saturday and Sunday, it looks like, which the cut line keeps dropping. We need some guys to just really, really struggle here of late. But the projected cut is now at -1. Harold shoots even par, a 70 yesterday, a 70 today, and it looks like he will not be playing into the weekend at the Wyndham, which is disappointing. It's his, home state course, and expected a big weekend from him. Could not do it this weekend as he shoots a 70 today.
Harold missing the cut is something that's very rare, because I feel like most of the time he goes out there in a tournament, he's going to make the cut. There was a great streak there for Harold Varner III of him making the cut, but unfortunately what it looks like right now is that HV3 will not make the cut into Saturday and Sunday in Greensboro in the Wyndham Championship, but maybe people can choke here and maybe the cut line can get down.
Well, speaking of choking, our buddy was tied at the top of the leaderboard.
Huh?
I said the guy that we like, top of the leaderboard.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, huh?
Exactly.
Huh?
We're going to do this again today.
John
was tied a moment ago at 9 under par for the lead, but has now dropped back to 7 under par. There is a group of 3, Woo, Kim, and Ryan Moore, who are tied at 9 under at the Wyndham in Greensboro on the Buccaneer Music Hall leaderboard presented by Dubuck.
And I know we're getting ready to go to break, but just a quick update. Just moments ago, we have eclipsed the $40,000 mark.
That is awesome news. I didn't throw it to break.
I thought you were throwing it to break right now. Oh, never mind. I'll kill the music.
We can go to break.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know.
Isn't it about time to go to break?
It's about time.
Well, you said a couple things before we go to break.
And I did one thing.
Sorry.
Shirley jumping the gun on a Friday.
Wait, who's directing this show? Me or you?
I guess. Apparently it's you.
Okay, I'll kill the music.
All right, let's go to break. All right. We will be back with you and talk to Billy Weaver when we return on a Free Beer Friday and a Football Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
Hey, O's fans, get to Oriole Park early on Friday, August 5th at 7:05 when the first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive a Cedric Mullins 30-30 Club bobblehead presented by Masson. Celebrate Cedric Mullins' historic 2021 season when he became the first player in Orioles history to join the 30-30 Club with 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. Tickets start as low as $15. What better way to cheer on the Silver Slugger than at the ballpark that forever changed baseball? Buy tickets at Orioles.com/tickets.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medi-Spa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are 2 things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. If you're looking for wings to be delivered to your home, Wings Over Greenville has you covered with no third party needed. Wings Over Greenville has its own in-house delivery service. Be sure to try the all-new tender sandwiches by ordering ahead on the Wings Over mobile app. Open till 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, Wings Over has everything to cure those late-night munchies. Give them a call at 758-9464. Wings Over Greenville. They deliver.
This is Tim Doust, ECU Football Special Teams Coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Vacation spots are right here in our very own backyard. You can take a trip to a state park and enjoy traditional camping, RV space, and also air-conditioned cabins that can be rented with Wi-Fi. If you're out by a lake, be sure to check out the opportunities to rent a canoe or kayak and get out on the water. Your next adventure is right around the corner. For more information, please visit ncstateparks.gov. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, welcome back into Pirate Radio Live here on a Friday. We are talking NFL, fantasy football coming up. I'm in the slow draft. Just drafted Isaiah Spiller before I came to work today. Chandler, do you have any idea who that is?
Is he related to Clemson running back C.J. Spiller?
I don't know. I don't believe so. I don't know anything about this guy other than he is a rookie. You know, I have trouble spelling Isaiah, as you just saw there. He is a rookie for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Texas A&M. I do remember him now.
So took a shot at the rook earlier today. We'll talk fantasy football, NFL coming up, hour 2 of today's show. Right now, we will head out to the Pirate Radio Live line and talk to my cohort on the U.S. Sailor 5th Quarter Call-In Show, Billy Weaver, joining us on the Pirate Radio Live line. Weave, how you doing today, man?
Doing great, man. Hot like everybody else, but great and ready for football, man.
Yeah, and had a little on last night as the Hall of Fame game, Raiders over the Jaguars last night. I watched the first half. I actually watched all of the, I guess, lightning delay that went on just because I wanted some football content. So you had the new NBC crew with Mike Tirico, with Al Michaels gone, Tirico and Chris Collinsworth. I was a little disappointed to see Jason Garrett added, Weave, because not a Garrett fan, but he has popped up and will be, I guess, part of NBC's crew. But, man, it was just good to see some live football, some football talk on the TV. So I enjoyed it last night.
Yeah, and I think I saw something where actually starting this week, we will not have a week without football starting this week with that game until mid-February. So how's that sound?
That sounds lovely. Sign me up. I am all in for that. So our Commanders get underway with their preseason next Saturday against the Carolina Panthers. So you've got that. You've got ECU practice going on, which began earlier this week. And the high school season about to come up, too. I've talked to 2 more high school coaches this week on Pirate Radio Live, and that is 2 weeks away, believe it or not. So we are getting close to it.
Yeah, once we get into the month of August and football practices start, it's full force. The good thing is that it's not that way for me now as far as work is considered. Now I get to sit back and relax and kind of take in all the sights and sounds of August and get to talk about football and hang around football and all that stuff without actually having to put on a whole bunch of work. Because, you know, in the business that I was in, the TV business, especially with high school football, once you got into August 1st, once August 1st hit and football practices for high school started up, we were just, it was, shifting from first gear to sixth gear, and skipping 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you were right there in high gear. So that's the part I don't miss, but I do miss the part, going out and talking to the high school football coaches, which you've been able to do. And, this is a brutal time, and it's no secret to anybody around here. And, we were talking about the heat a little bit. It's hot outside. These coaches are practicing either very, very early in the morning or late in the evening to try and beat some of this heat, because it gets dangerous out there. And I know the Pirates, when they opened their schedule on Wednesday, I think wake-up call was about 6 o'clock in the morning. So these guys, these coaches are taking this heat very seriously. I know they don't like to talk about the heat because they say, hey, man, it is what it is. Coaches are like that. I get it. I understand. But it's a part of what we deal with here in eastern North Carolina. And in September, it's not really much better. So that's just something we have to deal with. But that's the part that I don't miss, is going out in the heat of the day in these football practices and sweating and grinding it out. So I get to actually take a different approach this year to football season.
And we will see some longer games early in the year because there are a lot of stoppages due to cramping those first 2 weeks of the high school season. I've been able to call some games for Conley, before the ECU season starts, and man, there's at least like 4 to 5, 6 stoppages that week one just from cramping up. And guys, coaches are in the players' ear, hydrate, and some guys do everything they can, but it still happens there early in the season.
Yeah, and you know what? The high schools, North Carolina State High School Athletic Association, along with high school associations across the country, have done a good job about also implementing timeouts that are not official timeouts, that aren't, timeouts that are taken by the team and cost, each team one of their very valuable timeouts. But they have timeouts built into the early part of the season for water breaks, and just for that. And not just the players. I mean, I've been out to high school games before in the past where you've seen referees and umpires out there, really struggling. And you got to remember, some of these guys are up there in age and have been doing this a long time. Those guys need to be hydrated as well. So, like I said, the North Carolina State High School Athletic Association has done a great job with that, and it's kind of the new normal now in football.
Billy Weaver joining us. Weave will be right here to my left in less than a month on the U.S. Sailor Fifth Quarter Call-In Show on what's undoubtedly going to be a hot show, Weave, one way or the other. If East Carolina wins it, we're going to be partying. People are going to be calling in, talking about how they're going to go undefeated and be the best team in the country. If they lose it, we might get some calls on the very opposite end of that spectrum. But I know one thing: it's going to be a hot show coming up on September 3rd in the afternoon, following East Carolina and NC State. And man, I'm fired up for it.
Yeah, there's going to be no in between, none. It's either ECU fans are going to be so pumped up they can't stand it, or they're going to be just out of their minds, for lack of better words, I guess, pissed off.
Yeah.
That's what that rival does, and that's what a good rivalry does. There's no moral victories. If East Carolina were to go in, obviously East Carolina is the underdog in this game going into the season. But if East Carolina was to lose that game and say lose by a field goal, ECU fans are going to take no moral victories in that. There's not going to be a whole lot of, we played well, we came up on the short end of the stick. No, that's not going to happen. No, it's win or nothing. And I like that. I like that a lot. So it's that first game, yeah, exactly. And I tell you what, if NC State, or I should say, if ECU wins that game, I predict that Troy Dreyfus will have already picked out a new Heisman Trophy winner from East Carolina.
He won't be able to stand it. It's going to be, and then they'll, hopefully knock off ODU the next week. Campbell after that, 3-0 with Navy. Yeah, it's just, he's going to be. He'll probably barge into the studio if ECU beats NC State.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing, is I predict that if ECU wins, Troy D will make his way into the studio. If ECU loses, he'll be out drinking somewhere.
He will not be in studio. It is a front runner bandwagon situation, no doubt. But we'll be with you after every game this year on the fifth quarter. Glad to have Billy Weaver back with us for another year. Had a lot of fun with Weave last year. Kind of a bit of a changing of the guard, Weave, when it came to just kind of temperament and mood on that show. It had been so down during the Mo years, and you have those blowouts. And when, fans are interested if a game is close or the Pirates win or something unexpected happens. But when you would just expect a blowout every week and East Carolina was getting killed, there really wasn't much to say on a call-in show. There wasn't much for me to say, but when you start winning, when you have those close nail-biters and they go either way, there's a lot to talk about from games like that. And man, how many close ones did we have last year? Some went the Pirates' way, others didn't. But it was fun to be in games at the end, win some of those games, have a winning season, and now that's the expectation this year, right? Anything less than 6 and a bowl berth is going to be a huge disappointment for Pirate fans, as it should be.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. We'd mentioned that earlier before, that's the expectation. That's the goal. That's the bar that's already been set from last season. They went to a bowl game. Of course, didn't get to play in one last year, but now that sets the bar, because what you expect is marked improvement every year, and the easiest way to show improvement is in the win column. And you mentioned close games as well. That makes everything. Coaches always say winning cures everything, and it really does. I mean, it cures the attitude of the players. It cures the attitude of the fans, the coaches, and everything. It makes our post-game shows so much better. Last year was a real big shot in the arm for the ECU Pirates and the Pirate Nation as a community to be able to rally around a team and say, okay, we're finally headed in the right direction. So I think that's good. And, getting back to this season, getting over that hump at the beginning of the year with NC State, and then you're looking at Old Dominion and Campbell. I mean, you get started out with a win against a very good NC State team, and man, that could just really set the tone for the rest of the year. So, and I didn't know if you have seen this. I thought this was interesting earlier this week. I had heard where Campbell has made a move from the Big South to the CAA. So that's a big move for that program as well, and they're going to come into Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium looking for a big upset as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, conference realignment going on at the FCS level. I did see that. We haven't talked about it on the show, but yeah, Campbell going to make the move to the Colonial. So, and I guess is that for? I was just thinking football. That's for everything. I guess.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is that's going to reset the. There's a good rival. The CAA, back when East Carolina was in the CAA, had a very good North Carolina presence. UNCW in the CAA, so that's going to keep UNCW and Campbell and kind of make that a nice little rivalry right up there. I guess it was I-40 that goes from Wilmington up to 95 and then into Bowie's Creek, that area. So that's going to be a big rival for them, in basketball. So, but that's a huge move for Campbell.
Billy Weaver joining us, excited about football, baseball still going on, and the more the Braves and the Mets play, the more I'm looking forward to football, because the Mets are the real deal. Knocked off Atlanta last night. They'll play again tonight, and I saw somebody say the Braves can't win the division this weekend in Citi Field, but they can lose it, and losing last night puts the Braves 3.5 back of New York, and we'll see what happens tonight. But the Mets keep winning, Weave, and 8 out of their last 10, 3.5 up now on Atlanta in the East, and picked up another one. How do you like the big boy, Vogelbach, that they got, who I got to admit, I like him. He has a belly similar to mine, so he was one of my favorite guys before he started wearing that Mets uniform.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome, and when he hit that ball last night, everybody knew it was gone immediately. I mean, that was just, his reaction was awesome. So, the Mets did a really good job before the trade deadline of getting some extra guys in there. And Tyler Naquin came in there and hit a home run last night, his first at Citi Field. So, I don't know if I agree that the Braves can lose the division, because you got to remember there's still 7 other games between the Mets and the Braves before the end of the season, and after this 5-game series at Citi Field, the other 7 are down in Atlanta. So there's still, I mean, even if, I would love to see it, it's not going to happen, but even if the Mets were to sweep the Braves in this series, even with it being a 5-game series, and that would be a huge, almost 10-game lead in the National League East, it still wouldn't be over.
We're both doing the reverse jinx right now, trying not to jinx our own team, so we'll see whose powers are stronger, Billy.
Right. I'm just trying to not to be too optimistic.
Oh, I understand, man. I understand. But hopefully you can, sometimes when Washington's doing well and it's going good, you're happy, but you kind of know something's coming. And I'm hoping, Billy, you can enjoy the Mets are 66-38, and yet you still have some reserve in your voice when you talk about them, just because of years past. You're having PTSD or something.
Yeah, and they're 67-38. I've been keeping track, but that's okay. That's okay. But you know what? The big number is that they're 34-13 against teams in the National League East this year, which is huge. But you know what? I mean, hey, I'm always very cautiously optimistic. You know that. Anybody that ever listens to me on the show knows that as well. And I thought back when they had the 10-game lead in early June, I think it was, and by towards the end of July, it was down to a half a game. I thought, okay, here's the collapse. And I think everybody else did. But the Mets didn't collapse. They flexed their muscles. They got some pitching back. DeGrom is back. Of course, that's going to be a tough out for Atlanta during this series because they're going to have to face Scherzer and DeGrom in this series as well after already getting behind one, in the first game of the series. So it's going to be tough. And, of course, with the Mets, the new acquisitions and like you said, I mean, Vogelback, man, he's just awesome. He's fun to watch because, like you said, he's got that big old belly on him. And there's some meat in that lineup now. You look at Pete Alonso, he's not the smallest guy in the world either. So the Mets have really put together a good team as far as pitching. They've got really solid guys at the plate and solid guys on defense. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that are picking the Mets to get into the playoffs, and that's all I want. I just want to see them make the playoffs and maybe make a good run in the postseason. And, I'm not, there's no delusions of grandeur here with me and saying, okay, they're going to the World Series. I'm not ready to go there yet. But I just want to get through the National League East right now.
Yeah, it could be a big fall for Weave and his sports teams. We'll have football, we'll have Mets playoffs perhaps, and some NASCAR playoffs as well. Weave will wrap it up with that Cup Series in Michigan this weekend, and down the stretch they come. Michigan, Richmond, Watkins Glen, and then a Saturday night race at Daytona, August 27th, and then it's playoff time in early September, first Sunday in September. So we're getting down the stretch here of the NASCAR season. It quickly approaches, right?
Yeah, it always does this time of year. And, you get into a situation with NASCAR, of course, where it's always this time of year is when you're supposed to be as excited as you've ever been for NASCAR and get into the playoffs, the best time of the year. But then, of course, here comes football. And then everybody says, oh, well, so maybe I'm not that interested in NASCAR right now. But it is fun. I mean, the guys have put on some shows. This weekend at Michigan is going to be a whole lot of fun. It's a very fast track. It's a place where, guys, Kevin Harvick, this is a big opportunity for Kevin Harvick. He leads all active drivers right now with 5 wins at Michigan. And it's funny because when we talk about the playoffs, the top 16 make it. Well, right now, look where Kevin Harvick is sitting, number 17. Of course, if he gets a win at Michigan, which he's been very good at. Now, lately, the last couple of years, Kevin Harvick's had down times. He has had a win this year. But if he gets a win at Michigan, one of his favorite tracks, it puts him right into the playoffs. So it's huge for him. Guys like Kyle Busch run very well right there. Let's see, Chase Elliott. And I think Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch are the 2 favorites right now by Vegas standards anyway, going into Michigan. But I got to look at Kevin Harvick to say this is an opportunity for him. Right now he's sitting on the outside looking in of the playoffs. We're getting down to the stretch run, like you said. This would be huge for Kevin Harvick and his team, one of the veteran drivers on this series to get a win this weekend.
Billy Weaver joining us. Weaver, great to talk sports with you. We'll be seeing you soon in the Pirate Radio studios coming up in a month. So looking forward to that. Hope you get your grass cut with the heat out there and survive it and are able to talk to us again next week.
Yeah, I got the front yard cut. I do it in stages. Hey,
it's like NASCAR.
NASCAR. That's right. Yeah.
Billy Weaver won stage 1. We'll see if he's able to do it stage 2.
Hey, you know what? Now that I think about it, how cool would it be to have a riding lawnmower like painted black with the slant 3 on it and the GM good wrench on there?
Billy just got a new project. I see that coming soon.
Man, that would be awesome. I'd never thought about that until now.
Well, you like to soup up. You have that. Do you still have that old truck weave?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do it with your lawnmower, man. It'll be a new summer project for you.
I know. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I think there was a John Deere commercial that Kyle Busch was in, where he souped up his lawnmower. Neighbor next door was looking over at him. He's grass in like 3.6 seconds or something like that. Or you had a pit crew out there. I'm sure that's been done before.
Yeah, I like it. Weave, thanks, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, we'll see you.
Billy Weaver joining us on a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We'll take a timeout, come back, wrap up hour number 1, talking NFL Fantasy Football hour 2 of today's show. More to go. Pirate Radio Live on a Free Beer Friday. We're back with you after this.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs. From big kids to little kids, Sparky Snowballs has been making smiles happen for over 20 years. If you're not in the mood to chill out with a snowball, Sparky's funnel cakes and fried Oreos are a perfect Sparky-licious treat every time. Are you having an event, party, or fundraiser? Call Sparky's to come on site. Remember to follow Sparky's on Facebook or visit SparkySnowballs.com to see where they'll be next.
In studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
You know, everybody's thinking we're having some inventory issues in the car business, which some of it's true. But the good news is, you know, we're getting vehicles from the factory every single week. So what the customer can do is come in, get an appraisal on their trade-in if they have one. They can pick a vehicle that's incoming and actually kind of build it how they want. And then when it gets here in the next 6 to 8 weeks, they're actually taking delivery of a new vehicle.
Brown & Wood, your #1 dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. If you're looking to purchase a home, it is still a great time, and being pre-qualified before you begin shopping is an advantage. At Angel Oak, we offer a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans that can fit most financial situations. To get started, contact our experienced team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
Ahoy there, mateys! It's Captain Jack Spare of R&R Tire Express, your local tire and wheel shop in Greenville, offering affordable, easy payment options for easy ownership, savvy? Our customers love our treasure of tires and wheels, easy payment options, and customer care package, too. To learn more about R&R, stop by 3920 US 264 or rnrtires.com.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Holton Ahlers, and when it comes to getting your family together, there's no better place than Familia, which is Italian for family. Familia is the place I like to bring my football family, especially my offensive linemen. Whether it's great New York-style pizzas, homemade meatballs, lasagna, chicken parmesan, or delicious homemade desserts, Familia is a winning play every time. For dine-in or takeout, make Familia your go-to play when you have a hungry team. Familia on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College. Go Pirates!
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
It's Bostic Sugg Furniture's Midsummer's Dream event. Beautiful furniture at unbelievable low prices. Store-wide savings on beautiful looks for your home. Bonus savings of 25% off accessories, plus 6 months special financing. We have hundreds of top name brands in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Enjoy sweet dreams on a new mattress with 48 months special financing with no minimum purchase during the Midsummer's Dream event. On now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? Keep it local. Print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Need some beer for the weekend? The Jarvis Street Bottle Shop near Christie's Euro Pub is a specialty shop selling craft, domestic, and import brews, along with wine and growlers. The Bottle Shop offers monthly beer and wine tastings featuring rotating North Carolina craft breweries, along with live music and discounts. Stop by Tuesday through Sunday or check out the Jarvis Street Bottle Shop on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as we head back into PRL, CJ just brought this up to me, and since we're getting ready to talk about the NFL, figured I'd bring this up to you. And I promise you that we double-checked this to make sure that this was legitimate, and it is. Cleveland, Ohio will play host to the National Massage Therapists Convention later this month.
Interesting note, but what makes that note newsworthy?
Who's the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
This is a subtle thing we're supposed to do here.
Oh. So we just
subtle
announce that and move along?
Yeah.
Yes.
Massage on that, listeners.
Can't make that up. Did that make sense?
I don't know.
I mean, it works.
Massage on that.
I've never heard that phrase.
Well, I was going to say think on that, but
yeah. Rub your temple on that. I saw a similar story today.
You did?
Where these two things should not go together. Like massage therapy conventions. Is that what it is?
Yes.
And Deshaun Watson probably shouldn't go together. Washington, the Washington Commanders are having a cruise. So you see these things where like the WWE or somebody will have a cruise, or like
New Kids on the Block is having a cruise.
there you go. Like everybody has a cruise and the fans get together.
It's a
By the
thing.
way, CW Sloan's going to talk to us next hour. He's sitting here. Hey, CW.
Hey, what's going on?
It was just weird that you were sitting in the corner and we were ignoring you.
It's like some random person is just sitting over there.
Hey, there's a guy in
There's
here.
a guy in here.
Let me make sure, because I didn't read the article, but somebody, it might have been a joke, now that I think about it.
Is this the official Commanders website, though?
Including Doug Williams, Dexter Manley. This is official. Gary Clark, Joe Theismann, Jordan Reed, Santana Moss. I want to go on a cruise with Santana Moss. That would be fun. But I saw, and now let me go back and see who said this to make sure it's not a joke. This is Brian Floyd. I don't know who he is, but he says that one of the guests, and I guess it's true. You know what? I'm going to believe this to be true, just for the sake of this.
Everything you read on the internet is true.
Sure.
The guy is verified.
Sure, it's got to be true, right?
It doesn't matter.
So they're doing a cruise with Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, Santana Moss, a bunch of people. Another former Washington great on that cruise is Fred Smoot, who was part of the Minnesota sex cruise.
Yes.
Back in the
my.
day. Who really knows how to have a good time on a cruise.
Oh, boy.
Well, I mean, there's only so many things you can do on a cruise.
Okay. Let's name a couple, Shirley. What do you got? What's number one on the power rankings?
Well, obviously, you can partake in adult beverages.
You can booze on a cruise. What else?
You can hang out by the pool.
Okay.
Which is very small.
What's number three?
You can gamble.
I did way too much of that on the cruise I went on.
Yeah, there was this one machine, claw machine, that I
did
got
roulette
addicted
too
to.
many times on my cruise.
You can occasionally play some trivia, and sometimes you have comedians that are on the boat. And that
we
type of
saw my mom was.
You get bored real quick.
I went with my parents, my sister, my girlfriend at the time back in the day, and my mom just loved this band. You know, they have like a crew, like a house band.
House band.
Yeah. But it was like these 4 Asian guys, and they were singing classic rock, and it was. And it was right up my mom's alley, and she went every night to go watch them.
That sounds like a awesome.
Stretch.
It was.
I'm going to come in here next week and sing you some Def Leppard.
All right.
They did 80s music trivia on the boat that I was on. Mine didn't have a theme. I just went on a cruise. I went to Cozumel and Costa Maya.
That's where I went.
And, okay. Not on the same boat, though.
No.
But, yeah, I quickly learned that if you're not much of a drinker, which I am not, and you're not much of a gambler, or if you're a really bad gambler like I am, you get bored on the ship real quick. So I spent a lot of time wandering around just trying to find something to do.
I ate a lot, drank a lot.
Well, the ice cream machine was 24 hours a day, so I pretty much hit that the whole week I was on the boat. I
was too hungover to go to one of the destinations one day and completely missed it. I need to go on another cruise. I did not I was not a good cruiser last time I went.
Now, when I got off the boat in Cozumel, I did hit. Somebody told us don't go to the touristy. They have like the tourist shops or whatever right when you get off the boat. Like go 6 blocks down one way, and there's like a flea market, and it pretty much sells everything that the tourist places sell, but for a lot cheaper. So I hit that place up and bought a bunch of souvenirs down there, but I really didn't get to do much anything else. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was a huge Washington fan before I carried over to the Bucks in the early '90s. Pick your one Washington former player you wouldn't mind being on a cruise with.
All right, that's a great question.
I got mine.
Is Clinton Portis in jail?
He was just.
He got charged. I don't know if he actually went to prison. He was charged with.
All right, I just want to make sure he's eligible because he might be on my list. Because he's fun. Like, I don't want to just say, like, Art Monk. Because that would be, like, the most boring cruise ever. It'd be cool to say you hung out with Art Monk, but, like, what are you going to do? Sit in your room all day?
Well, the biggest party animal was not in the late 90s or the 2000s.
Well, John Riggins?
Well, yeah, you could argue his point. Yeah, I was going to say Dexter. The dude was on.
Are you going to do blow on the cruise ship?
Well, I don't have to do it.
I didn't know you wanted to get wild.
I didn't say I'm going to partake in what Dexter did. I just think he's a party animal.
CW, you're a wild man. Calm down.
Okay.
Well, your family's watching.
Dexter got arrested trying to board the ship with, 3 pounds of cocaine. So, no, I see what you're saying. And
he seemed like he'd be a fun guy.
You went to an extreme there, I will say.
Actually, if you watch some of the NFL shows where they talk about each Super Bowl, Charles Mann seems to be really articulate.
Yeah.
He sounds like a really cool guy to be around.
I like him a lot.
I probably would pick him, to be honest. Gary Clark was actually my favorite.
I got another one.
Love Gary Clark.
Chris Cooley would be fun to hang out with. And
a little further past me, though.
This guy is still there, and I love what he does with the TV and the radio and on social media. But Doc Walker is very entertaining. And I don't remember him as a player, but I enjoy hearing him talk. So
yeah.
But Rigo would be cool. Yeah. So there you go. You're going Dexter Manley, huh? We learned a lot about you today.
Or Charles Mann. The two defensive ends that cornerstone that run they made in the 80s. So,
all right. Chandler, what Panther are you going on a cruise with?
Probably Smitty.
You're going to get in a fight? You're going to beat up some people on your cruise?
I don't think he'll get into I mean, he was definitely a fighter on the football field. On a cruise, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be all fun.
I feel like I've told this story before, but on my cruise, my dad and I entered a ping pong tournament. And I think there was only 4 people in the entire tournament on the ship. And it was me, my dad, and 2 12-year-olds. And in round 1, I beat the hell out of one of the 12-year-olds, and my dad beat the hell out of the other one. So we met in the finals. So if that doesn't go Smitty's way, I could see him throwing a paddle, maybe getting in somebody's face. I don't know, but it would be fun.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
He's talking trash right before. He's like, if you don't know who Steve Smith is, you're gonna know who he is by the end of this ping pong match.
He is gonna talk the entire time in your room. You're going to end up hating Steve Smith when you're done with that cruise.
Now, we got to do a Bucks because y'all had your favorite.
I'm going to go around the horn. Okay. All right, who's your Buck?
Can it be current, or is it going to have to be former? The answer would probably change.
So how about this? You're taking Dexter Manley. You might as well take Warren Sapp, too, and you can get the prostitution in there.
110% it was Warren Sapp.
Like CW, you're one of the more mild-mannered people I know.
It wasn't even a question.
You're not coming back alive. Now, what a fall from grace he had, because he was this huge smile, always laughing. And I guess, what was it, prostitution? Was that the thing that got him in trouble? It was one incident
that occurred in Florida in a hotel that he
basically got canceled before canceled was the thing.
Right. He was with NFL Network, and he had a legitimate shot of keeping that for a long time.
Absolutely. He could have been the Barkley of the NFL.
I think so. And he's very articulate, too, and he knows what he's saying. He actually did an interview recently on trying to remember which show that I saw in the last 8 months. And he looks good. I mean, he's lost a lot of weight. He talks about his daughters and how well they're doing, and he seems to be doing pretty well considering that incident. I think he's put that behind him, but
he was big. He was about to be a media star. It felt
I think
like.
so. And I was actually at his Hall of Fame induction. That's the last one I attended with a buddy of mine who's also a Bucs fan. We went to go see that, and he was tremendous, and he was really cool with the fans. So I enjoy him.
I could see him making a comeback at some point.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a long time.
It's been about 3 or 4 years. I think you just you have to kind of let that wait out before, for people to be able to pull you back in and put your name on the lights. But
good call. That was pretty obvious.
The current would obviously be Brady. I would just love to pick his brain, but if it's a former, it's going to be Sapp.
All right, Steeler. Who you going with, CJ?
I'd want to say Troy Polamalu, but I also kind of want to just say Juju Smith-Schuster.
I was just about to say you can make TikToks.
I feel like Polamalu was in the Art Monk category where, great guy, but like kind of boring. Just
strikes me as a good tour guide.
Maybe. He might be into that.
Yeah. But Juju, I mean, we see him on social media all the time. He looks like he's having a great time. So
CW is choosing Ben Roethlisberger from the Steelers, and I shouldn't even say the former Panthers receiver. He would be taken with him. Shirley, Dolphins.
I kind of wrestled with this.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Mainly because, I love Dan Marino, but I don't think he'd be any fun on a cruise. I just think he would be kind of a jerk.
He's a bit. Yeah, he's got that.
He's got that jerky attitude.
I came across that
the
video.
famous YouTube where he freaks out.
Yeah, he kind of freaks out, and you know me.
Different?
Yeah,
I don't deal well with people who do that.
I saw a video the other day where he was doing like some kind of commercial where you get a chance to win, be his backup for the day at practice and this and that, and he gets done, and the guy that's directing the video says, "Yeah, let's do that again." He said, "You kind of flub." He said, "I didn't flub. I didn't. I didn't flub." So he makes him do it again. He does it again, but like drops f-bombs throughout. And he says, "F it." He said, "F it. Send it in."
Well, there's another video where he's doing like a NFL roundtable thing. Like is he still on?
No, on CBS.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
He's not on there anymore.
But it was something like that, and he flubbed a word and was started cursing and like slamming pins, and they were flying. Like he's got a temper. So.
Yeah, and Shirley, so I don't do well with that.
Shirley, I don't know how you can't look at Ricky Williams.
Well, I guess when you're doing cocaine, you need something to bring you down.
Cocaine, prostitutes, and weed.
Okay, so that might be your kind of cruise.
Got a party going on.
I mean, especially if you're going to Jamaica. Ricky Williams is
look how giddy he is. He's so giddy.
I never knew this side of you.
No, I'd probably go.
I would go on a cruise with CW
I don't know. I think Jason Taylor would be a cool guy to hang out with.
Good call.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I think Zach Thomas might be a tad boring. Yeah. I think Jason might be a little bit more entertaining, just kind of fun to
Jason Taylor would not be a good wingman because he is a very attractive fellow. I'm thinking about my perspective.
Not a good wingman, but
who's the ugliest Washington player of all time? I don't know.
I have that on my list.
Jason Taylor, good call. Seems like a good dude too. Is he? He's a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Yeah.
A couple years ago. Yep.
Him in? Is Zach in there too?
No, that's
Zach's
like the big. He's one of the people talked about quite a bit.
But they're related because I believe, or at one time they may be. I don't know if they still are or not. I think Jason married Zach's sister or something like that. So they're like in-laws.
Okay, cool.
All right, maybe you'll get the family deal. Get them all in there.
Is that Flavor Flav?
Yep, that's Flavor Flav. We are watching
The Hype Man.
I mean, Chandler. It's
the Ocho.
Elderly African American gentleman with a clock around his neck. Did you think somebody was like?
It's just so random.
Well, it is the Ocho.
Well, it is the Ocho. That is true.
What's more random, seeing Flavor Flav there or seeing Jay Cutler in a cornhole tournament on ESPN2? I mean, this is about as random as you can get.
You know what I was watching earlier on the Ocho? The 2022 Breaking Championships, which is the break dancing. From back in the 80s, and it was fun to watch. I really enjoyed that.
All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. Marty Smith firing up the crowd as we watch the Cornhole Championships. We'll talk NFL, fantasy football, and more. Hour 2, Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Megan State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
Last year, we found out that I had cancer. We were all super scared. Mom and Dad said they don't know what we would have done if Riley's Army hadn't been there for us.
We invite you to join us on Saturday, August 27th at the Hilton Greenville for the Glow for Gold Gala, benefiting Riley's Army, presented by Grover Gaming. Tickets can be found at rileysarmy.com or by calling 252-481-4471.
Riley's Army hopes that you never need them, but if you do, they'll be there for your family, just like they were for mine.
Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have kept the fires burning for Eastern North Carolina Whole Hog Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out wood-fired meats, cooked fresh every single day. There are no freezers at our place. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Stop in and see us, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. At Sam Jones Barbecue, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
That perfect tractor package you've been eyeing at Quality Equipment just got a little more perfect. Haul your next 1, 3, or 5 Series John Deere tractor off the lot on your brand new trailer. Visit our site at QualityEquip.com to add it to your package. Start with Quality Equipment to get any task done right. We've got the full line of John Deere equipment priced right with low monthly payments and special financing. Plus, we service everything we sell. Visit QualityEquip.com to see our latest offers.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Do you need custom t-shirts, apparel, or promotional items for your business, organization, or event? We'll keep it local and print it local with University Sportswear. Contact them today at universitysportswearenc.com, the official sportswear provider of Pirate Radio. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
It is August. Pirate football practice underway. NFL preseason underway after the Hall of Fame game last night. Action will resume on Thursday. Commanders-Panthers going on next Saturday, Chandler.
I'm going to be honest and say that I did not know that was the first matchup for the Carolina Panthers in the preseason.
Where are we going to watch it?
Watch along.
Watch along. Panthers, Commanders.
How boring will that be?
Very. But we are excited. It is also fantasy football season. I've got a draft scheduled for the weekend before ECU kicks things off. And my other league is a slow draft, which began on Sunday night. We have been making picks via text, and CW is in that league and actually just made a pick right there at sitting in that seat. Just took Daryl Henderson. What round are we in, CW?
I believe.
I can look it up.
Yeah,
if you don't have it.
I don't have it on me right now.
It doesn't matter. But we are in the 10th round.
Mm-hmm.
So I love doing these. And you do a bunch of these with your best ball stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm actually in 2 tournaments right now. I'm in the middle of drafting both of them. And the $25 tournament will get you $1 million. I'm trying to win that.
Good luck on that.
Thank you, sir. The $5 tournament is also a pretty hefty amount. I think it's $100,000. So I'm just shooting for the moon here.
And you can do these through different sites, but do you use the Underdog?
Correct. Underdog is definitely the most popular right now. This is the 3rd year that they have had these tournaments. It's a $5 tournament and a $25 tournament, and so you don't have a whole lot of statistics to back up certain things after 5, 6, 7 years. This is only in its 3rd year, so you only have 2 years of research that you can do. So it's actually good, so you don't have to delve too far into the past. But
all right, let's continue our team previews.
Okay.
And these are our last 2 divisions, right?
Yeah, we covered them all after today.
Let's go AFC East and AFC West, and a lot of good players in these divisions. And we'll start with the team at the top of the AFC East. That would be the Buffalo Bills. I've heard a lot of discussion. I'm starting to listen to podcasts. I like the CBS fantasy podcast with because they get a little jokey at times, but it's pretty much all information. Jamie Eisenberg, who's actually the cousin of the actor. Jesse Eisenberg is his cousin. Nobody cares. Dave Richard, those guys. But anyway, they were talking about Stephon Diggs, who had a monster, help me out, 2020?
Yeah, the last year he was in Minnesota was his career year. He did take a little bit of a tumble last year, not because he was injured or because the offense wasn't any good. It's just because of the way
I thought
the offense was constructed.
First year in Buffalo was his career year.
No.
Okay. Well,
it was his last year.
No, it was.
Yes. Okay. That was not his last year in Minnesota, but his first year in Buffalo.
Listen to me, people.
It was not last year, but a year before.
2020, 127 catches, over 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns. Now, the numbers dropped last year, but he did have 10 touchdowns. He had 103. We say his numbers dropped like he had a bad year.
Right.
103 catches, over 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. But the point is, he is the what number receiver going off the board? 4th?
Yeah, you're taking him in the first round, beginning of the second round, and I don't like him in the same tier that I have the guys in the first round.
Which are
Kupp, Jefferson, Chase, and Devontae Adams. To me, I would take Diggs as a step down. Now, most people are putting all of those guys kind of clumped together, but I just based on the nature of the offense, has nothing to do with the talent of Stephon Diggs.
All right, so Diggs is going to be an early pick. Where is Gabe Davis? He's certainly draftable. Where are you drafting him?
Yeah, right now, there are 3 receivers that when I looked at all the numbers, he has actually got the second biggest discrepancy as a wide receiver in best ball and in redraft. So in best ball right now, he's going at number 43. His ADP is 43, but in redraft, he's going at number 62. So you're talking about an easy 2-round difference between the two. Mm-hmm. So you have to kind of talk about him in a slightly different way, depending on, most players are not that way, but in this case, there are a couple other receivers I can name later, that I am going to name later. Gabe Davis is definitely one of those you have to kind of look at.
He has had freakishly similar seasons so far. He's had 35 catches both seasons he's played. He's had 599 yards and 549 yards. in the 2 seasons. He's had 7 touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. So the numbers are the same. Well, he blew up in the playoffs last year.
So the recency bias, I think, is what's really, putting a lot of emphasis on why he's going at pick 43. I mean, he did something that no other receiver in NFL history, including Jerry Rice, has done, which is score 4 touchdowns in a playoff game. And so it's the last time you saw him on the field. So naturally, instinctively, that's what we're going to think. Having said that, I mean, I don't know. 43 is a little early for me, but again, it's best ball, so you're not really having to worry about starting him every week. 62 sounds about right. You haven't seen it before for a full season, so you are taking a little bit of a risk. But you are talking about the top 3 offense in the league. So if you're going to take a risk, it's for someone on a roster like that.
They have former Buck O.J. Howard. I was not aware of that. I kept Dawson Knox because I got a decent discount on him and figured I'd just stash him. Is he in your top 12?
He's in my top 12. He's in my top 10. And in fact, in my $25 tournament, he's actually my starting tight end. So, yeah, I like him.
In a great offense. Now we get to the running back position. Do you want a Bills running back this year?
So Darryl Singletary is the one that you were going to want to grab in probably somewhere in the 8th or 9th round. James Cook is somebody you want to take about a round or 2 later. If you're talking about a best ball league, it is really smart to grab both of them if you really feel like that both of these guys can contribute, because you don't have to worry about which guy is going to pop off each week. But if you're talking about a redraft, I would certainly take Darryl Singletary at least a couple rounds before I would take James Cook. But they're both draftable.
You are a staunch wait on a quarterback guy, so you probably won't have Josh Allen. Let's say you're in like a 2-quarterback league or something that values quarterbacks. Is there anybody that you would consider taking over Josh Allen this year?
No.
Okay, he's the clear-cut number 1 QB.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else on the Bills we need to
if you want to save one of your last 2 picks, and again, I always try to look at upside, but at the same time, I also try to peg these offenses that are going to score points. In the event an injury comes into play, you have a guy that can fill in. Jamison Crowder has taken Cole Beasley's spot, and last year Cole Beasley started pretty much all season, and he had 3 games that were very plausible for you to do well in. In fact, he was on a couple of the championship teams because he had 1 or 2 games where he popped off late during the playoffs. So Crowder's going at ADP at 165 right now. He's practically free, but he's one I would certainly consider.
Okay. All right, I like James Crowder.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Dolphins. I've fallen in love with the Dolphins. Love their coach. It's funny because I love Hill and Waddle, and then I was talking to a friend of ours, Jake, and he said, I like Mike Gesicki to have his best year ever. So we love all these guys. The person we don't talk about that we love is their quarterback, who's getting the ball to all these guys. So that is some cause for concern. But I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Jalen Waddle is a keeper in my other league. I drafted Tyreek Hill in the 2nd round of the league we're in. So I guess go with Hill. What do you think about Hill in his new spot?
Yeah, his ADP right now is late 2nd. You definitely have to pull the trigger on him on a 2nd-round pick if you're going to take him, unless you're on the turn at pick 24 and he hasn't been taken and you want to turn around in the 3rd and take him. But other than that, Hill is pretty much going in the 2nd round. Waddle is going about a round and a half later at 36. So I like where both of these guys are, and I like the situation that they're in. I would argue, and you can agree or disagree, Tua might be the most questionable player in the entire fantasy realm. If you talk about what kind of expectations he has, the players around him, and how many different things that could happen with Tua, I just don't know where to put him.
And we love, I love their coach, the offensive mind that they brought in
from San Francisco.
Love all this talent, and if we're going to say that they are going to have a good year and a good offense, we got to believe in Tua, right?
Well, I don't.
But I don't. But so I'm having.
It's because you haven't seen it, right?
Conflicted. Yeah.
But you also haven't seen Tyreek Hill in this offense. So you don't know how much that might open up something for everyone else. I would pump the brakes a little bit on Gesicki, as high as I was on him earlier in the summer. Ever since training camp, all the beat writers are talking about how they're using Gesicki twice as much in the blocking game. And so that tells me, with Tyreek, coming on, and with the fact that this new offense and Gesicki as a tight end being utilized that way, I don't know that I'm going to draft him as much as I thought I would earlier in the summer.
All right. Do you want a Dolphins running back? Good grief. They've got a hodgepodge of guys
They
here.
got a plethora of them. But
Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, Miles Gaskin, who had some good games last year.
You're taking a flyer on all those other guys. The only one you're actually drafting in a 12-man for, maybe with the exception of Mostert, if you really feel like he could do well, is Chase Edmonds. He's going at pick 94 right now, and he's the only one I would even sniff at for this particular offense in Miami.
All right. Chandler, any questions?
No.
All right. We move on to the Patriots. The first Patriot off the board is
Damian Harris. And as crazy as it sounds, as good as New England tends to be every year, the best player as a fantasy outlook is pick 84. That just is really strange to me that you have to wait that long to find a New England Patriot. But yeah, he's going somewhere in the neighborhood of the 8th round. I do like his potential, especially in the goal line. But you do have Ramondre Stevenson coming up right behind him in the very next round. They're very close in terms of their ADP. A lot of people like the upside of Steven in the pass catching. But Harris still has that number one role at this point in the season.
We just got done talking about the Miami Dolphins. What about former Miami Dolphin Devontae Parker?
That is intriguing to me.
Yeah, Devontae Parker's going in the 11th round right now, and what they're talking about in camp, Mike Reese is reported from ESPN, what they really love about Devontae Parker is his goal line situations. They are throwing the ball up, and nobody can get it. So Devontae Parker is the one that they are looking at as a target inside the red zone. That speaks pretty well for a guy taken in the 11th round.
I like their tight ends with Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith. The problem is, like, football-wise, okay, pretty good team you've assembled here, but like fantasy-wise, it doesn't feel like it's going to do much for you.
Right, and Mac Jones, they've talked about how much better he has gotten over the last 12 months. And, if you go back and look at the statistics for Hunter Henry, he was sharing the field a lot with Jonnu Smith, and Jonnu Smith got hurt, and all of a sudden they opened up with Hunter Henry. He had 6 touchdowns last year. That was equal to Dalton Schultz, for the most part, or at least come close to it. I think Dalton Schultz maybe have 8. But yeah, he's definitely somebody that I would be looking at late as a backup, or if you decided to pass on tight end in the first 10 rounds.
All right, let's wrap it up with the Jets. So first Jet off the board is going to be Breece Hall.
Yeah, 4th rounder. Late 3rd if you're really going to put all of your chips into him. I don't know that I'm taking him as one of my first 3 picks, but I certainly like him in the 4th. Elijah Moore comes a little bit after that into the 6th round, and he's definitely looking good in camp. I don't know if you saw a lot of the one-hand grabs that he's been making. I don't know if that speaks anything of fantasy, but they are liking his ability. And then
they got some fun young guys. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis has made plays in the past. So.
And Michael Carter, especially if you're looking at Breece Hall, North Carolina guy, who put up 4 touchdowns and over 800 yards last year.
They got the tight end from Cincinnati, Uzama.
Yeah, CJ Uzama.
Who I feel like he filled in for me a couple weeks last year and did okay.
He had a couple games that he blew up, but I don't know that I'm really drafting anybody from the Jets beside those 4 players.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk AFC West. Ton of players to dive into there, and more fantasy football topics as we talk NFL fantasy football here, hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. More to go after this.
Check it out.
Hey, Chandler, what are you up to tonight?
Jenny, it's Tuesday, and I'm going to go sing with DJ Captain Morgan for karaoke at The Buck.
Well, that sounds like fun. I have to work. Well, what are you up to this weekend?
Well, believe it or not, I'm going to go listen to some live music Friday and Saturday night at The Buck.
Live music all weekend long, really?
Yep, all weekend, and they also have the biggest high-definition screen to watch all the sporting events on Sunday Fun Day.
I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, just check out The Buck on Facebook or Instagram for all the information. The Buck.
Let's party, Pirate Nation. The Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party presented by Bud Light on Thursday, September 1st is approaching fast, and tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to these 4 local charities: Sportworks Ministries, Riley's Army, Daughters for Dads, and the Heather Ann Batiste Scholarship Fund for the ECU School of Nursing. The Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party will feature entertainment by America's favorite 1980s tribute band, The Breakfast Club.
Trying to stop my hands from shaking. Something in my mind's not making sense
Plus, the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales will be on site for a photo opportunity. The place to be to kick off football season is at the State Theater in downtown Greenville for the best party of the year. Go to pr927fm.com now and get your tickets before it sells out, and we'll see you Thursday, September 1st at the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party.
I can't think of anyone who doesn't love a clean car, but how often do you actually go to the car wash? Does it take too long, or maybe it's just not a very nice place? Tommy's Express changes everything. Our wash is bright, inviting, clean, and fast.
I love the flat conveyor belt. So easy to pull onto, much smoother ride, and safer for my car.
And when you join Tommy Club, you can wash as often as you like for one low monthly price.
I save money and time.
We're Tommy's Express.
At the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road, Greenville.
Hey Pirate fans, this is Coach Cliff Godwin. The physicians at Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center have been caring for our athletes at ECU for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for our sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care, physical therapy, and diagnostic testing. For experienced and professional services, call the team at Orthopedics East at 252-757-2663 or visit them online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
At US Cellular, any phone you see is free, whether you're a new or current customer. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
We all love using Uber Eats, DoorDash, and grocery pickup. It makes life so much easier. Well, now there is cellular delivery, and the team at Cellular Warehouse has perfected the process. They will deliver your new phone right to your door with all your information loaded on the new phone, and the best thing is there is no charge for this awesome service. And you don't have to waste half the day sitting in a Cellular store. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051 and let his team of experts make your cellular delivery today. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent, serving all of Eastern North Carolina.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
This is Rajay Harris, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. The Sidebar in Uptown Greenville is open and ready to serve you. The Tex-Mex Fusion Restaurant offers dinner and Sunday brunch from 10:30 to 2:30. Located right next door to the Dickinson Avenue Public House, the Sidebar has indoor dining and patio seating for everyone to enjoy. For the latest on reservations, menu items, and more, follow the Sidebar on Facebook or on Instagram at sidebar.greenville. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
Back with you, Pirate Radio Live on a Friday, Free Beer Friday, Football Friday. Craig says, question, is Clip saying Sailor Store or Cellular Store in the advertisement? I'm saying Sailor Store. It is a store where you go to buy sailor outfits, hats, all your aquatic
nautical needs.
That's the word I was looking for at the Sailor Store. So thank you for asking, and I just answered your question. All right, C.W. Sloan's here. He's our fantasy man in more than one way. Chandler Honeycutt, C.J. Schaefer, and Shirley Rhodes here. Let's talk AFC West. C.W. said this is the largest pool of talent when it comes to fantasy. How many of the top 100 players, average draft position?
I'm counting 17 in the ADP right now out of 100. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you talk about all the different players in this division.
Well, there's 8 divisions, and that's about a fifth of the players. So, yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah.
How many of those come from the Chiefs? They are a very interesting team. The first Chief off the board is a tight end. It's Travis Kelce. And if you want Kelce, Are people having to take him in round 1, or can they wait till round 2?
Well, his ADP right now is 13.
Okay.
And at different sites, I kind of looked at 2 of the most popular, and he's going somewhere in the 11 in one and 14 or 15 in the other. So, you take the aggregate. But, yeah, you can get him in the late first, early second. That's about where you're targeting him, but not too much further after that.
The number 1 receiver you want on the Chiefs this year is?
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay.
He is going at pick 60, so you're going to looking at burning a 5th rounder for him, and they like him. They're looking good in camp right now. So, I mean, everybody looks good in camp now, but they are showing some positive footage of him doing really well.
They have Marquez Valdez-Scantling on the roster, and am I wrong stereotyping him? Is he more of a deep guy?
Yeah, and I mentioned to you about Gabe Davis being the second most discrepancy of a best ball in a redraft. This guy has probably the most I've ever seen. In the redraft, he's going at 142. In a best ball, he's going 93.
Wow.
So you think about how many rounds. I mean, that's a lot of rounds different.
So best ball, I don't know if we describe it. We try to every show. You basically draft your team, and you don't set a lineup. The compute, whatever, takes the best players from every position on your team, and that's who starts that week for you after the games are played.
18 players. They have a legit starting lineup, just like every fantasy team does. 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, etc. And all they do, every week is they take the highest guy, so you don't have to worry about no waivers, no trades, and all that.
He's going that high because he's going to have 3 or 4 weeks where he has 4 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Right, and you don't need to start him every week. You just need those 3 games. So,
all right, Mecole Hardman there. You drafted Sky Moore in our slow draft. Rookie from where?
I don't even know. I think
remember.
He went to... I'm not sure where he went. Now you got me.
Western Michigan.
Western Michigan, okay.
He's a Bronco.
I drafted him mainly because we are in a different league. We're in a keeper league, and the potential I see him is there. Maybe not as using him a lot this year, but maybe next year.
You can redshirt him this year.
That's right.
All right, how about the running back spot? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. When I drafted him a couple years ago in my other league, I think I took him in the first round.
Late first.
Yeah. And now...
You and a lot of other people. It wasn't just you who got burned by him.
Now he's an afterthought. They also added Ronald Jones from Tampa Bay. So what do you do about this running back position?
Stay away.
Okay.
He's going at pick 84 right now. Ronald Jones is somewhere in the neighborhood of 120, 124.
Okay.
So if you ask me who I would rather have at their ADP, I'd actually rather have Ronald Jones late.
Yeah.
Just because I don't have a whole lot of faith in CEH. And I would just rather focus on Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and maybe Juju.
So we got Josh Allen, number 1 at QB, clear cut. Where is Mahomes this year?
This year, his ADP on Underdog is actually not at 2. He is somewhere in that neighborhood of 3 and 4. It seems like Justin Herbert is the one who's climbing the ladder here and taking the number 2 spot out of Patrick Mahomes. But you can't argue taking Patrick Mahomes as long as you don't get him too early.
All right. Can we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Out of respect to the Raiders for making the playoffs last year, we'll go Raiders second.
All right.
The top Raider is Devontae Adams, who is you like him in the top tier of receivers.
I do. In fact, this is me personally. I actually like him better than Jamar Chase. I know that might be somewhat of a hot take, maybe a warm take. I don't see most people taking Devontae Adams over Chase. I just like him a little bit better based on how safe I feel like he is, particularly in the red zone. If you go back and look at Jamar Chase's total season, not just look at the individual games as well. When you look at his total season, he had a couple games where they were really, really bad. They just weren't good. And a couple of games that I remember watching distinctively where if he doesn't get that missed tackle and break it for 70 yards, he's having a pedestrian day. And it just seems like Adams, I feel like, can do the same thing as Jamar Chase, but on a more consistent level. Now, obviously, he's moving teams and he's changing quarterbacks, but I don't feel like Derek Carr is, in the bottom half of the league. So for me, I always talk about safety in the first round. I feel like he's a safer pick in 2022.
And they talked a lot on the broadcast last night about his connection with Carr, his old college,
right.
And so it sounds like that he is going to get a ton of targets this year. Chandler, how many catches do you think Hunter Renfrow had last year?
I'm going to go probably let's go 110.
Wow, okay. You were
guess.
going the opposite way, I thought. He had 103 catches for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess if I asked the common fan, they probably wouldn't have thought that Hunter Renfrow had those kinds of numbers. How about this number, CW? 9 touchdowns for Renfrow.
Yeah.
So where's he being drafted this year?
Right now, his ADP is in the low 70s, high 60s. So you're talking about another 6-rounder for him.
PPR, that's a good value if you get those numbers. Will Adams hurt? What do you think, Hunter Renfrow?
I don't think it changes either one of their values. And if you look at the amount of production that Renfrow got last year, and you were to say that he's going to probably get somewhere in that same ballpark, and same with Devontae Adams, I think they're both going right around the ADPs that they deserve. The one guy for the Las Vegas Raiders that is really scaring me right now, and some of it has to do with even last night, is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs looks like he is going to be in a full committee group. And when you're talking about a guy that they did not re-up on his 5th-year option for this particular year, so he's basically on the last year of his deal. You also talking about Kenyon Drake coming in the backfield, and the fact that Josh McDaniels has never really taken a guy who he wants to give the ball 250 times. So it bothers me a little bit that all of these things that are kind of moving parts, and then you get to last night's Hall of Fame game. What is he doing out there?
Yeah.
Why is that guy playing in the, getting 6 carries for 30 yards?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I've never seen a guy who they feel like they're just going to, run this guy and have, the bell cow and play in the Hall of Fame game. And I've watched enough Hall of Fame games to know most guys do not play if they're in that position.
Yeah.
So all of this tells me I'm staying away from Josh Jacobs.
All right, Darren Waller, where are you taking Darren Waller this year?
He's in the late 3rd, early 4th rounder, and I certainly have no problem with this particular pick. I do feel like if he stays healthy, he can easily be the number 3 or number 4 or even number 5 tight end if in that particular case. And I would love to have him as a top 5 guy. You're just going to have to make sure you pay a 4th or no worse than a 5th rounder for him.
So you said earlier this summer that if you don't get Kelsey or Andrews, you're going to wait on tight end for a little while?
No, I like the top 5 and maybe even 6. What I don't like is that what I call the dead zone for tight ends, where you have somewhere in the neighborhood of pick 7 or tight end number 7 through 10 or 7 through 11. And if you're going to do that, I would take that bottom group and just get 3 of them and hopefully find, hopefully one of them sticks. Throw them all against the wall and hopefully one of them sticks. Dalton Schultz is the one guy that's starting to move up on my board based on everything that's happened with Dallas. I drafted him in our league, and I do feel like he has potential. He's being drafted out of the top 3, but he's one who was drafted somewhere in the neighborhood, I think, tight end number 5 or 6, who can easily make that top 3 number. And so after him is where I'm kind of taking a little bit of a step back and waiting till the end.
All right, let's move on to the Chargers. We good? Okay. Austin Eckler.
Love him.
So you go Cooper Kupp 1. Let's say your personal, if you have the number 1
Jonathan
pick.
Taylor 1.
Okay, that's right. Kupp 2.
With the recent information with Stafford and his tendonitis, I think I'm going to drop him down 1 spot.
So,
and I know that doesn't sound, if you're nitpicking the way we are,
so where's Eckler fall?
I like him at 2 or 3.
Wow. Okay.
So he is like a top tier running back in a fantasy standpoint.
100%, and it's because of the volume and how they use him on the field. Isaiah Spiller does scare me a little bit in taking him that early. But you talk about a guy who only missed 1 game last year, and he only missed it because of COVID, not because of some soft tissue injury or because, he got hurt, but, the preseason or whatever. He came in healthy, he stayed healthy, and, he was a top 5 player in the league. So I feel like that's going to, why would he, assuming that he doesn't get hurt, why would that not be any different?
All right, Keenan Allen is 27. He's 30 years old.
Right around his ADP.
He's
28.
Is he still? You still like him as an elite
3rd rounder? I'll take him. Particularly if I went running back, or running back tight end in picks 1 and 2, I certainly don't have a problem starting my wide receiver core with Keenan Allen in the 3rd. I would definitely not take him in the 2nd.
All right, Mike Williams, probably one of those best ball discrepancy guys.
The 3rd most discrepancy. He is going somewhere in the neighborhood of 33. In the best ball and 46, 47 in a standard league.
Wow. All right. So
a whole round and a half, yeah.
I'm going to ride that Mike Williams roller coaster this year. I drafted him, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But you're talking about a top 5 offense, ascending quarterback. His contract is legit. So, yeah, assuming he doesn't get hurt, you're in good shape.
let's say you're in a redraft league. Are you drafting Spiller only if you draft Eckler, or is Spiller rosterable without Eckler?
I haven't seen it. He's a rookie. I don't know how they're going to utilize the backups. Going back to my Eckler comments, it doesn't seem like he's been running to the ground. It seems like they're going to utilize him as much as they possibly can. Spiller's a very similar back in Austin Eckler and what they do, so I could definitely see him spelling what Eckler is on the field. Having said that, we haven't seen it, so I don't really know how they're going to utilize him. But for me, I'm probably not going to draft him unless I do have him, unless it's really late. If I feel like I'm using him as a flex, I feel like that's a little bit, too much. But as far as a backup, I definitely like having him as a backup to Austin Eckler.
All right, the big dog on his birthday just drafted Gerald Everett. So he is like on the, I don't know, what is he, top 15?
Barely, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and Justin Herbert last year, he had an aged Jared Cook and let him go. And you don't really
Is he still in the NFL?
I don't know that he picked up any team. He's definitely not serviceable in the fantasy.
Is Mercedes Lewis still in the NFL?
I'm guessing no.
All right, I'm going to look that up.
But we don't know what Herbert wants to do with the tight end and how he's going to utilize a much younger tight end and a guy that scored 4 touchdowns last year and played really well when he was healthy for the Rams. I mean, he was the one taking Tyler Higbee's spot when healthy. The problem was he couldn't stay on the field for the full 17 games. So if he's healthy and young and Herbert likes to use him, I like Gerald Everett as an upside late tight end. He's another one of those guys that I'm going to pull up and grab if I decide to move out of the tight end top 10 position and not get one early into the fantasy drafts.
Update for everybody wondering, Mercedes Lewis still on the Packers roster. Had his best year last year since 2017, 23 catches, 214 yards, no touchdowns, and is going to be a major weapon for Aaron Rodgers this year. I just can't believe he's still playing. He's 38 years old.
Wow.
He's trying to
hit Tom.
surpass Brady.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Is that it for Chargers?
Yeah, one guy I would take a look at if you're in a deep league, 12-man, and you've got a relatively deep roster is Josh Palmer. Palmer was a rookie last year for the Chargers, and if either one of those two wide receivers goes down, he is in a prime spot to do really well for this offense. Last year when Mike Williams was hurt, in a 5-game stretch, he had 185 yards, 189 yards, I think, and 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns in a 5-game stint when he needed to come up and step up for them. So if you're drafting either one of those guys, particularly Mike Williams, he's somebody that if you have a roster spot late, I would probably burn on someone like Josh Palmer.
And we mentioned it a moment ago, Justin Herbert sitting right now at 2 in a lot of QB rankings.
Yeah.
So
he and Patrick Mahomes are kind of jockeying for that number 2 position, but right now the ADP looks at Herbert.
All right, let's go to the Broncos. Let's stick with quarterback just for a moment. Would you be comfortable with Russell Wilson in a 10-team league as your quarterback?
Sure.
Okay.
He's top 10, yeah. I like his weapons.
And you probably wait on him and get him 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah, he's in round 79 or pick 79, 80.
Yeah.
So assuming nobody jumps the gun, which somebody I think did in our draft, Daly was not happy with that because he wanted Russell. But yeah, pick 79 is about right for him.
All right, the Broncos still have Melvin Gordon, who is still, I know he's older now, but he plays, he gets yards. But does that scare you from Javonte Williams as a number 1 running back on your team?
110%. I do not think Javonte Williams is where he needs to be because of Melvin Gordon. I would much rather take Melvin Gordon at pick 100, where he's around 102, where he's going, than taking Javonte Williams in the late second, which is really where he's going. And again, a lot. You talk about the target shares and the number of reps they get. The number of carries that each of them got last year were exactly the same. It was a 50-50 split. In training camp so far, it's been a 56-44 split. So I cannot put my second-round pick on a guy who's really almost doing a 50-50 split like that.
I didn't have Williams last year, but I had Gordon, and I kind of forced my hand to play him some weeks, and he played all right. Like, I remember being kind of surprised that he was still getting those numbers with that young running back there. But they do have a new coach. We'll see how it works, but you're still kind of a little nervous about spending that much on Williams.
And on the flip side of that, I mean, a lot of people were really hoping that Melvin Gordon did not re-sign. If you go back and look at free agency last year, it was about a month into free agency. They didn't know if he was going to re-sign. They re-signed him, and that dropped Javonte Williams from being a top 8 pick to late into the second round, early into the third. And so that tells you, what they were going to do with Javonte Williams if Melvin Gordon wasn't there.
I'd like to make it official. Jerry Jeudy will not be my breakout guy this year. I wanted to make it happen, but I've talked to Bronco fans who have steered me away from that. They're just not believing that he's ready to do that. Cortland Sutton, on the other hand, could be. And we'll see what happens with Jeudy. But how about those two Broncos receivers? Who has the upper hand there?
Cortland Sutton, for sure. And if you look at his body of work and the type of receiver that Cortland Sutton is, and you just think of DK Metcalf, where he's taking the ball and taking it above the corners. I will say this about Jeudy. I picked Jeudy last year thinking the same thing. It didn't happen. Caesar Sportsbook right now has the most difference in number of yards that they've had to change based on the bets since Tim Patrick went down for Jerry Jeudy. Almost 250 yards they've had to put over the props because of how many people have bet the over where they originally had him before Tim Patrick went down.
Interesting.
So, that doesn't mean Jeudy is going to eclipse what Cortland Sutton is going to do. I still think Sutton is going to be the one for sure.
Yeah.
But when you look at the numbers that Jeudy right now is projecting, it's going up and up and up.
All right, I can't say their tight end's name, so I'm not going to bring him
Alberto,
up.
that's all you need to say.
Alberto. Any other Broncos?
No. The only other one that we had on the list was certainly Tim Patrick. I was really looking forward to drafting him later over the other two receivers. He was the guy who led the team in touchdowns and targets, and he's out for his ACL. So
yeah,
can't
that
draft him.
stinks.
Yep.
All right, C.W. Sloan joining us. We'll take a timeout, come back, more fantasy chat here in Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. Got 3 guests in Hour 3. Morgan Ayler, Mark Greenhalgh, Brian North will join us on the program. A lot more to go, and we're giving away an 18-pack of 12-ounce Bud Light bottles. It can be yours. Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. More to go after this.
Welcome to US Cellular, where new and current customers choose any phone they want for free.
Free? Even the one with 5G and lots of storage?
Free.
And the one with the latest everything?
Free.
At US Cellular, any phone you see is free, whether you're a new or current customer. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for US Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
Pirate fans, the 2022 football season is going to be one for the record books. East Carolina is coming off a 7-win bowl season, and 2022 is shaping up to be even better. The Pirates need you to pack Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium this fall with a great home slate that includes in-state rival North Carolina State. The American Conference schedule features home games against UCF, Memphis, Houston, and Navy. Season tickets are on sale for as low as $125. Get your tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com.
Did you know time spent outdoors can help improve your children's health and bring balance to their life? The Outdoor Heritage Advisory Council invites you to join the Patch program. This program is for any child under the age of 16 and includes activities like fishing, hunting, and hiking. These are just one of the many ways you can earn the exclusive patches from the Outdoor Heritage Council. For more information on how to sign up and get your adventure started, visit outdoorheritage.nc.gov.
Be sure to check out David Price Construction for all of your commercial or custom residential renovation and building needs. Run by ECU alumni, David Price Construction specializes in commercial projects, maintenance on facilities, and large-scale residential renovations and additions. Proud to be voted the Remodeler of the Year by the Home Builders Association of Raleigh-Wake County in 2018 and Best Business Commercial Remodel Project winner for 2020. David Price Construction, the proud ECU Home Services partner.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of PIP Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. PIP, where business goes to grow.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. Baseball is a grind, and August is a real grind. I'll have some thoughts next.
Hey, Pirate Nation, come party with us for the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party. It's back and approaching fast. Tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to local charities. Join our Pirate Radio crew Thursday, September 1st at the State Theater in downtown Greenville, featuring 80s music by The Breakfast Club, plus many more special surprises. Go to PR927fm.com right now to get your tickets before it sells out. And go Pirates!
As we grind through a Major League Baseball season, August is the biggest grinder. Teams entering August have played just over 100 games. By this point, reality has set in. You are either in the playoff hunt or you're not. That's why when we talk about the trade deadline, you're either a buyer looking to pick up a piece or two that can put you over the top, or a seller trading away your valuable pieces for prospects for the future. Yes, baseball's dog days, and if you're out of the race, the grind is even that much tougher. Once September gets here, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The weather is getting cooler, players can catch their second wind, and games among the contenders really take a little bit more intensity. And guys who've had big minor league seasons get the call up as rosters expand. Yes, baseball is a daily grind, and August is the biggest grind of all. Come on back again next time, and we'll visit Inside the Booth.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Country Mart. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations, in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Hey, the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party presented by Bud Light on Thursday, September 1st is approaching fast, and tickets are on sale right now for only $10. 100% of the ticket sales will be donated to these 4 local charities: Sportsworks Ministry, Riley's Army, Daughters for Dads, Heather Ann Pertee Scholarship Fund at the ECU School of Nursing. The Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party will feature entertainment by America's favorite 1980s tribute band, The Breakfast Club. Plus, the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales will be on site, so you can take pictures with the horses. The place to be to kick off football season is at the State Theater in downtown Greenville for the best party of the year. Go to PR927fm.com right now to get your tickets before they sell out, and we'll see you on Thursday, September 1st. Now let's head back in to PRL. Here's Clip.
CW, a big Breakfast Club guy.
Big 80s, huge.
Yeah. So looking forward to the Pirate Radio Football Kickoff Party, September 1st. Get your tickets at PR927fm.com. Just $10, and they're going fast. So go ahead and secure yours now so you can party with us coming up the Thursday before East Carolina and NC State kickoff at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium.
Sam on Facebook says, "Dang, CW looking hella cute in studio today. What a stud." Sam Taylor, that is.
Oh, God. Sam, I am.
Oh, you.
You said Breakfast Club. It brought back some memories because I will say my third child, my third daughter, she's here because of the Breakfast Club. I'm just going to say that. They were at a... They were the band that
you
we
have
went to.
You have gone unhinged on this show today.
Well, look, they were the band that we went to.
Do you know how procreation works?
Yeah, well, a little bit. But they were the band that we went to on New Year's Eve.
Cool.
Had a great night.
That's a great story. Are y'all going to relive?
I probably should have named her Molly.
Are you going to the
for Molly
party?
Ringwald?
I thought you were going to say you were on Molly. I know you're a big drug guy.
Does anyone really care?
Thanks, Jeff. I was actually into this story. Maybe you can recreate that September 1st.
We're finished.
You're retired?
Yeah, we're way retired, yeah.
All right, let's get to your, you got some questions. So, Chandler, CJ, you can get in on this too. You're going to give us a couple options.
Yeah.
So we'll take your pick action. All right.
Shirley going to get it for us going or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just go with it.
We can sing it. Okay. All right. First
All right,
one.
let's go. Take your pick.
There we go. I got to have that. All right. This one's kind of a softball throw up, but I think we talked about this already. Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs?
Oh, okay. I was thinking about this for the league we're in.
This happens a lot. A lot of people have this late first.
Because Sam, the ma'am Taylor, who's tuning in right now, I thought he was going to take Joe Mixon, and I would have my choice between Adams and Diggs. Mm-hmm. And I was ready and prepared to take Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Devontae Adams. New quarterback, new atmosphere, but there's a good connection there between the two former college teammates. Gabe Davis, I don't know, maybe can take away some of the spotlight. Stephon Diggs is going to be Stephon Diggs, but give me Devontae Adams.
Right, and you look at Buffalo's offense, what's the one thing they want to do more than anything else? It's not throwing the ball 50 times. Josh Allen did not earn his keep by doing that. It's running the football. So that does take away a little bit of targets when you talk about Stephon Diggs.
CJ was going to give his answer.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, CJ.
Devontae Adams.
All right.
Yeah, fair enough.
All the way through. All right, next one. Would you rather have Keenan Allen or Jalen Waddle? They're being picked somewhere within 6 picks of each other.
Chandler, you're first.
Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Same for me, Keenan.
Because I kept him and I'm a Dolphins believer, I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle.
Who had more catches last year?
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could see that happen again. We could also see, Tyreek Hill cut into Jalen Waddle's numbers, but I'm going Keenan Allen there as well. All right, third one. This one's tough. I really had thought about this one. This is a 5th-round pick. Would you rather have Juju Smith-Schuster or Judy? The Juju or Judy?
CJ.
Juju.
Judy.
Why? I'm just curious if there's a...
Because, again, it's kind of a personal belief, and I like Russell. I think Kelsey gets a ton of targets there. I just don't see. I think Mahomes spreads it around more.
Right.
And I think Judy gets a little bit more attention.
If Tim Patrick hadn't gotten hurt, maybe go Juju?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was going to go Juju, but I think he has a good point there. Tim Patrick out, and I think, like you said, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be spreading it around. I think the primary target for Russell Wilson in his new atmosphere is going to be Judy.
So how many games last year did Pringle, all these random Chiefs receivers will pop up with big games?
Yeah,
I 100% agree with you about how Mahomes probably shares the ball more than any other receiver or quarterback. Having said that, you were talking about Pringle and Tyreek Hill no longer being on this team, and those numbers have to go somewhere.
And they will to the next Pringle.
So I think there's got to be a number one.
They got Ruffles this year.
Yeah,
you like that?
Yes.
You didn't think you were, but you did.
There's got to be a wide receiver, though, that elevates themselves over everybody else on this team. Kelsey's going to be the number one target, but if you're talking about the number one wide receiver target, I think I still would rather have him than a Denver number 2.
All right.
So I'm going with Juju Smith.
A Denver 2. I hooked up with a Denver 2 last week, and I tell you. All right, go ahead.
All right, the next one. Going back to Denver. Would you rather have Mike Williams?
Yes.
Or Cortland Sutton?
Cortland Sutton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Same.
Okay. I think I'm going with Sutton too, but it's a lot closer than how quickly all of you decided to say that. I think maybe the consistency might be better. Having said that, Sutton only had a couple of touchdowns each of the last couple of years. I don't know, other than his injury years.
Doo-doo quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, the next one. Would you rather have Elijah Moore, the number 1 for the Jets, or would you rather have the number 2 for Las Vegas, Hunter Renfrow?
I'm going Elijah Moore.
Really good right now in camp.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
I'll go Renfrow.
I'll go Renfrow too, but you made me think on that
PPR.
one. That was good.
Yeah, that's tough. I do think Renfro's numbers have got to go down a little bit, but how much Elijah Moore's goes up, I don't know if are they gonna meet right there in the middle. Their ADPs are very similar, so yeah, it's a tough one to call there too. I think I would go Renfro there.
I'm not scared that Adams is going to hurt Renfro's numbers. I think if anything, it could help him get even more open and more opportunities.
Right. Yeah, I agree. All right, the last one I have for you. Would you rather have Daryl Singletary?
No.
Or Damian Harris?
No.
These are backs in very similar situations in the AFC East.
So the Bills drafted a rookie running back.
James Cook. And
what are the Patriots
he is
doing?
They do have Ramondre Stevenson
they drafted one last year.
But you are talking about both players that are behind the starters who are definitely going to be on the field during third down. And they're both offenses that obviously are ascending.
I'm going to go Harris. I had, again, I guess I was in this league where I just went 0 running back because I had Gordon and Harris. I had these guys last year and performed pretty well for me. So
okay.
I'll go Harris.
I'd go Singletary, but I don't really feel that strong about it.
You're going based on the offense?
I guess.
Yeah.
I just don't feel
who
strong
gets
either
goal
way.
line touches? Like Harris gets some for the Patriots.
Not Cook for sure. Harris will get them, but Stevenson. Now Stevenson got him a couple of times when Harris got hurt. But you had, and we'll talk about this next week when we're evaluating the winning teams last year. Damian Harris was such a popular player because he popped off so many double touchdown games. I think even one game he had 3. And so he's got that potential to go right into the red zone, as you said.
So Cook is a smaller guy?
And Cook is strictly going to be very similar to Dalvin Cook, not quite as big, but he's going to be the pass catcher for that team.
So Singletary might get the goal line.
And
carries.
Zach Moss is an afterthought. I'm probably assuming he's either going to be cut or traded. So, yeah, Cook is looking really good right now and definitely draftable. I think I'm going Singletary just for the fact that I feel like that offense is going to be inside the 20 so many more times than New England, although New England is looking pretty decent as well. But I do like Singletary. I think they found something in Singletary at the end of last year. And when they found him, he was popping off 100-yard games as well. So I think I like Singletary by a nose. Chandler?
I'm going to go Harris. I was already a fan of Harris, but you talked pretty good about him earlier when we went over the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I'll go Damian Harris.
Okay. They're both close in ADP for sure.
CW, I love this.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one or two other people out there that do, but I really enjoy it.
We hit every division.
Yep.
The month of July.
We did it.
And we now have to get to the bare bones of how we're taking these teams and what our teams are going to look like construction-wise, not just each individual team. I wanted to share a quick little statistic.
Very quick.
Okay. So I loved listening to Vegas numbers. Vegas numbers actually help me make decisions on certain players. But Vegas right now has a prop that they had to change because 100% of all bets were going on one side. They have not gotten one bet on the flip side, which is the over. They're going 100% on the under. They had to continue to drop it and drop it and drop it. So they're desperately hoping that this does not hit. And if I were in Vegas right now, I'd be hitting it under as well. Miles Sanders, total touchdowns. What do you think the over-under is where 100% of the betting world right now, they haven't taken one single, this is Caesars Sportsbook, have not taken one over on this number?
7.5.
5.5.
Good God.
100% of the betting world right now is taking the under. So they had to drop that number to, I think, a minus 175. It was even money, and because of the number of bets. And a lot of times when you hear the drop, it's because you're getting the numbers that are fluctuating and moving around. But for me, I've never heard a bet, especially in Caesar Sportsbook, where literally 100% of the bets are on one side.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that ought to tell you about where Miles Sanders is right now into the realm of the fantasy world. Stay away.
All right, CW, we'll talk to you next week.
Had fun. Thank you.
I enjoyed it. Let's take a timeout, come back. Morgan Ayler joins us to talk Pirate football when we return Hour 3 Pirate Radio Live right after these words.
In studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
Everybody's thinking we're having some inventory issues in the car business, which some of it's true. For used vehicles, Brown & Wood has a lifetime powertrain on every vehicle you buy from us, new or used. So even when you buy a used vehicle from Brown & Wood, you have lifetime powertrain. We cover the engine, transmission for as long as you own the car.
Brown & Wood, your #1 dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Are you ready for some football, Pirate Nation? Bud Light is America's favorite light beer and the official beer of the ECU Pirates. When planning your fun times this football season, be sure to pick up some Bud Light at your favorite retailer. Bud Light carefully brews their beer to be perfect for anywhere there's fun. Because when there's fun, Bud Light is there. Get ready to have fun this season, Pirate Nation, and always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
Last year, we found out that I had cancer. We were all super scared. Mom and Dad said they don't know what we would have done if Riley's Army hadn't been there for us.
We invite you to join us on Saturday, August 27th at the Hilton Greenville for the Glow for Gold Gala, benefiting Riley's Army, presented by Grover Gaming. Tickets can be found at rileysarmy.com or by calling 252-481-4471.
Riley's Army hopes that you never need them, but if you do, they'll be there for your family, just like they were for mine.
Your first stop for shopping is at Shimmer Boutique. This is Ashley from Shimmer. We are fully stocked with the latest apparel, shoes, and accessories and more. If you need gift ideas or some shopping therapy for yourself, stop by today. Looking for the hottest shoes on the market? Shimmer has the biggest selection of Hey Dudes anywhere. Shimmer has the newest Yeti products and colors. Want this year's most popular bag? Shimmer has a great selection of all your bog bag needs and accessories. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, and Jacksonville.
That perfect tractor package you've been eyeing at Quality Equipment just got a little more perfect. Haul your next 1, 3, or 5 Series John Deere tractor off the lot on your brand new trailer. Visit our site at QualityEquip.com to add it to your package. Start with Quality Equipment to get any task done right. We've got the full line of John Deere equipment priced right with low monthly payments and special financing. Plus, we service everything we sell. Visit QualityEquip.com to see our latest offers.
It's bow time. Why are Bojangles Chicken Supremes called Supremes? Well, with golden crispy chicken tenderloins this juicy, tender, and full of bold flavor, what else would you call them? Superbs? Nah, that would be weird. Get your Chicken Supremes combo today with a scratch-made biscuit, your choice of fixin', legendary iced tea, and have you heard there's a new sauce in town? Try our new creamy buffalo sauce when you get a Chicken Supremes combo today. It's bow time.
For the latest from the world of golf. Tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 at 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town, along with sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Tiebreakers in Greenville at Bells Fork and in downtown Winterville on Railroad Street. Now let's head back into PRL. Here is Clip Brock.
Alrighty, back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Football Friday, a Free Beer Friday. We're giving away an 18-pack of 12-ounce Bud Light bottles coming your way later on this hour. In fact, we'll do it at the end of this segment, so get that dialing finger ready. Get your weekend started off right with some Bud Light. And the Bud Light pregame tailgate coming up on Saturday, September the 3rd at 8 a.m. And we are fired up for it here at Pirate Radio. Also, the Pirate Radio football kickoff party coming up Thursday, September 1st. So count down the days to those events. It is getting closer, and we're getting closer to hearing Morgan Ayler's voice on, I believe, what's going to be a new sound system at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Is that right, Morgan? Welcome in. How you doing, man?
Hey, bud, what's going on? Yeah, that's what I understand. It's supposed to be a new sound system, new video board. They're putting that up now. The cranes are up. Go by there today, and it's going to be a fun environment come up September 3rd, that's for sure.
All right, what's your inside intel, Morgan, on how ECU practice has gone this week?
From what I understand, it's going real well. I haven't really talked to Holton very much. I talked to him a little bit last couple nights, and I called him, I think, Wednesday night to see how the first day was. It was about 9:30. Answered the phone. I said, "What you doing?" He said, "I'm studying." I'm like, "Studying?" He said, "Yeah, watching film and going over the practice and making sure we're all good on the playbook." I went, "Well, that's good. Stay up too late." I'm so proud of my baby boy actually studying in college. It makes me happy.
Can you tell how comfortable he is going into this fall camp compared to the ones in the past, Morgan?
Well, he's put there. This is his 5th year playing, 4th year with Coach Kirkpatrick in the playbook, and over the last couple of years, they've really been able to open it up a little bit more and more, and especially the second half of last season. And I think this year, I think everybody's on the same page. I think he's very comfortable from a playbook standpoint. It's just a matter of getting everybody on the same page. Some of these new receivers, I know they put a whole lot of work in this summer, and very optimistic with the guys they've got in, and I think it could be a special year. I really do.
We've talked this week, and I got to know Isaiah Winstead on Monday, Morgan, on the Delcor Players Lounge, and talked about his quick connection he made with Holton Ahlers, and Isaiah talked about how much Holton recruited him here to East Carolina. So they haven't got on the field officially in a game yet, but I know, they've worked this offseason. They're obviously working this fall camp. Mike Houston said last Friday he thinks Winstead can be an all-conference wide receiver. So high hopes for him coming in. And I know Holton and Isaiah have done a lot to get to know each other quickly, right?
Yeah, they have, and I think they've been really working hard. I know that the other two transfers from Duke and Georgia have been in and doing a great job. This could be, when you look at it on paper anyway, across the board from the wideouts to the inside receivers, the slot, the tight ends, you're averaging 6'2", 6'3", probably at wide receiver. Maybe the biggest group of receivers we've had in a long, long time that can run and stretch the field, and that's something we haven't had. That doesn't include the Macios and Josiah Hatfields, that kind of thing, that are already here. This is going to be a bunch of frisbee catching dogs, as they used to say back in the day, that go out there and get it, and then who are you going to double team? And then you look at your running backs. You've got Raji and Keaton, and some of the other guys that are behind them. Even it's offensively, there's some weapons on this team, and I think defensively they're going to surprise a lot of people as well. They really came on late in the season defensively for the Pirates, and I think the front seven could be as good as anybody in the conference.
Morgan Ayler's joining us on the Pirate Radio Live Line. Pirate football quickly approaching the Hall of Fame game last night, Morgan. So we got preseason football with all the action really getting underway next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But you've got the Hall of Fame game last night. And one thing I noticed, and these are great players that I watch play, but I don't want this to sound like a slight, a weaker Hall of Fame class than normal. I mean, Tony Baselli, you've got Bryant Young, Dick Vermeil, Richard Seymour, Mr. Keith Pound, and Sam Mills, of course, Leroy Butler.
Cliff Branch.
Great players, but no, blockbusters. I don't know. I mean, when you see this class, Morgan, what do you think of?
Well, I think it's a class that maybe doesn't have the blockbuster players of, say, a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or something, that, one of the elite of the elite. But all those guys that are being inducted this year had really good careers, long careers. Sam Mills was just a great linebacker. He actually played with one of my former high school classmates, and Vaughn Johnson, when they were at New Orleans. And Vaughn talked just glowingly about how Sam was, such a good player and a leader and a role model. I think he lost his life to cancer several years back, but glad to see him get in the Hall of Fame, much deserved. And these other guys, like I said, it might not have the marquee names, but all of them, you look at on paper what these guys did in the league, and they all deserve to be there.
No doubt, and it's always a great event, and watched a little bit of the game last night, but it was really cool to hear interviews with those guys throughout the game. Morgan Ayler's joining us. Morgan, high school football approaching as well. How about just 2 weeks away from getting under the Friday night lights, and a lot of folks around here excited about that?
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll start the high school huddle next week. We'll do a preview show next week, and then the following week will be week number 1. It's hard to believe that's already here, and excited to work with the coaches and the media again this year on our Friday night show, starting about 6 o'clock on Friday nights before our D.H. Conley game of the week. And really, this year could be a fun year for area high school football teams. There's a little bit more talent across the board than maybe there has been in the last few years. There's been, teams that are sort of hit and miss depending on what you're going to get each week in and week out. And I think Conley's going to be a pretty good football team. Rose is going to be there. The conference realignment really, I think, will show itself in full force this year with some of the players that you'll be seeing on Friday nights. And Washington, they're going to have a really solid team this year. So looking forward to working with them and bringing you high school football again on Friday night.
Always a great show, Morgan. Looking forward to that returning next week and hearing all the you got the local media guys and also the coaches, and really a great preview for every Friday night night of action in high school football. Morgan, thanks for joining us today, man. We will keep in touch. We'll talk to you next Friday and hear the debut of the high school huddle coming up next Friday. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it, Clip. Thanks so much. And always, you do such a great job despite Chandler.
Wow.
Well. Congrats for that compliment, Clip.
I'm glad you're here, Chandler, because if you weren't, he would have slighted me. So I'm glad you're here to take the slide.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay.
I'm here to take the bullets.
Never slight you. Never slight you, Clip.
Never, ever, ever. Thank you, Morgan.
Here's a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
For you, Clip. Where did the Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, play before they were in Washington?
Boston, right?
You're the man.
All right.
You're the man, Clipper.
I'm the man.
Oh, did you know that?
Yeah. In fact, I saw a joke about it. So Washington honored this 98-year-old woman at training camp this week, and she was out there taking pictures with the players and stuff. And somebody commented, because the Redskins name just changed from the football team to the Commanders, and said, "Man, this lady, I remember her being really pissed when they moved, when they were the Boston Braves and moved to Washington." So.
Yeah.
I knew it beforehand, but yeah, I saw that joke this week.
All right, well, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk with you next week.
Later, bud.
All right, Morgan.
The Boston Braves.
The Boston Braves?
I'm a big Braves guy, yeah. I think that was the team name.
Really? That is news to me. I did not know that.
I believe that's correct. All right, Shirley Rhodes, open up the booty bag, please, ma'am.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
We verbally assault her each week on Thursday and Friday. I tell her to back that fat truck up, and then we tell her to open up her booty bag.
All right, first of all, I said, Shirley, open up the booty bag, please.
Oh, you said please.
And I said the. I didn't say your. That is completely different. You assault her. I do not. That is not a we situation. That is a me-you situation.
Well, I guess that's true.
On that note, Shirley, what call are we looking for today?
Number 12.
Caller 12, 317-1250. If you're 21 or older and haven't won this month, you can take home an 18-pack of 12-ounce Bud Light bottles. It can be yours if you're caller 12. We're back with more after this.
Hey, Troy D here with my good friend Kelvin Rawls from Pest Tech. Kelvin, I just want to thank you and Chris and all the great folks at Pest Tech for such awesome service. You totally eliminated the mosquitoes in my backyard, plus the fire ant problem I was having in the yard.
Hey, you're certainly welcome, Troy. I have heard the same thing from all of our customers. With everyone being home, they want to enjoy the outside and being mosquito, fire ant, and pest-free.
Enjoy all your property from the kitchen to the curb. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com today for complete service. The Buccaneer Music Hall is your beacon of music in the land of Pirates and ENC. Open 7 days a week from noon until 2 a.m., the Buck features live music every night of the week. Tuesday is karaoke with DJ Captain Morgan. Wednesday is acoustic night. Thursday is the DJ dance party. And Friday and Saturday nights, it's live bands. Check out the Buck's Facebook or Instagram page for more information. The Buccaneer Music Hall. We'll see you at the Buck.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar Medispa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Free consultations available. Visit us at beautybarmedispa.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation. Go Pirates!
The Wood Ducks are hosting the 3rd annual Kinston Cornhole Classic on Saturday, September 17th, sponsored by Brooks Pool Realty. Gates open at 10 a.m. and the tournament starts at 11. There will be 3 brackets with cash prizes for the top 3 teams from each bracket. The cost is $80 per team. And to register, please contact Maddie Meehan at MMEEHAN@woodducksbaseball.com or call 252-686-5165. We will see you at the 3rd annual Cornhole Classic on September 17th at Granger Stadium. Christie's Europub is the perfect place to relax, grab a bite, and enjoy a drink. Located in the heart of Greenville and just a few blocks from ECU's campus, Christie's offers lunch, dinner, and late night with live music every Sunday. Come and have brunch Monday through Friday from 11 to 3 or Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 4. Scratch cooking takes time, so relax and enjoy a pint at Christie's Europub today. For the latest information, check them out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit them online at christieseuropub.com.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
This is Dr. Josiah Duke from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for the athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's that time for a joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services, as well as walk-in urgent care on weekends from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico, a huge 38-ounce lime margarita for only $7.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is a family-run dealership that creates a family-like atmosphere for their customers. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has one of the biggest used car inventories in Eastern North Carolina, and you can shop online today at eastcarolinachrysler.dodge.com. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Memorial Drive. Go Pirates! And congratulations to Matt Hager of Greenville, who was our big winner of our Free Beer Friday. Now back to you, Clip.
All righty, back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Football Friday. Let's talk a little golf mixed in with the football. Mark Greenhill's Golf Shop Radio Show joins us here on PRL. You can check out the Golf Shop Radio Show coming up Saturday right here on Pirate Radio. Greeny, how you doing on this Friday?
I'm doing great, Clip. How about you?
Doing good. A lot better than our guy Harold Varner III, who will not be playing into the weekend in his in-state course. As a rough day today, as I've seen on social media, maybe his one of his worst putting days, and that's a topic that comes up quite a bit when we talk about our guy HV3 with Mark Greenhelge on Friday. So a bit of a disappointment here. Had some high hopes that maybe he could put in a good showing this weekend in Greensboro, but not the case for the Pirate.
Yeah, unfortunately, poor driving yesterday, so hitting only 35% of the fairways yesterday with a mediocre putting round. Shot 70 and then turned around today, and like you said, I mean, he actually hit it really well, hit 78% of the fairways, 88% of the greens, drove it 343 yards, but lost almost 3 shots to the field putting. And when you lose 3 shots and you're at even par and the cut's going to be probably 2 under par,
yeah,
there's 3 under par for you, Clip, so there's the problem.
We had some fun yesterday looking at the top of the leaderboard, and I feel like this comes up quite a bit, Greeny, when a guy's leading on Friday, and I'm not the biggest golf fan in the world, so some of these names I do not know, and I did not know the name of John Where we were calling a Tell us about John. Well, first of all, how does he pronounce his last name, Greeny? We'll start there.
It's John Huh. Yeah, you're right. Definitely. One of those weird names. I don't even know. Like, does that fit into sports? It's almost like he should be a game show host, right? Asking you questions. Hey, this is John Huh.
Welcome to Huh with John Huh. Yeah. What do you know about John Huh, Greeny?
He's a guy that's been around for a little while. One of those guys that has won once in his professional career. That was back at the 2012 Mayakoba Golf Classic. So he does have a win, but he's been kind of a journeyman, and he's been as high as 66th in the world back in 2012. So he had some success back in those the 2012, 2013, and then it's been a struggle. I mean, he's been as almost outside the top 800 back about 3 years ago. So he's kind of trying to work his way back. He's played some Corn Ferry Tour events last year. He played some PGA Tour events. He's kind of struggled a little bit, and he hasn't made a whole lot of noise. So he's one of those guys that will kind of maybe pop up on the leaderboard once in a while. But when you get to the meat and potatoes of the tournaments on Sunday, he's probably not around, unfortunately.
Greeny, this is not a huge event, so, I mean, you're not going to get the best field of talent of players, but I don't know, is there any concern overall if you're a PGA Tour fan that likes to watch it each and every weekend that you're going to obviously build new stars? There's going to be new guys that come in and become household names and win tournaments and become fan favorites, but any concern that they're losing too much star power at the rate they're losing it right now?
I don't think so. I think it doesn't matter. Like, if you took the 20 or whatever guys that have defected from the PGA Tour over to LIV, you might one, maybe two. I don't, probably not of those guys playing this week. So these couple of last events really aren't big, strong fields anyway, because most of your star power is in the playoffs, and they all know that they've just kind of come off a busy major season. They probably, either played in the Scottish Open and then played in the Open Championship, and they played in the U.S. Open just before that, maybe threw another event in there. And they all know that they've got 3 playoff events coming up in back-to-back weeks. So traditionally, these last couple of events of the season are really for the second half of the field, guys to position themselves for the playoffs and other guys that aren't in the playoffs to try and work their way in. So not a big factor at this point.
Greeny, as you look at what's coming up, you've got St. Jude Championship in Memphis, BMW in Wilmington, Delaware, and then the Tour Championship in Atlanta, so at East Lake Golf Club. This thing is weighted, right? So if you are higher in the point standings, you get, you are rewarded for that. So as far as odds go, I know you guys will be picking it and everything. Who are the, I don't know, maybe dark horses to win this thing if somebody can catch up and take down a Scheffler or somebody near the top?
Yeah, I mean, you got to think that, especially the way that the Tour Championships worked in the last few years, is that when you get into that final 30 that make it into the Tour Championship, we have the staggered start, if you will. So whoever is number one in the point, starts at 10 under par, and it works its way all the way back down to even with those 30 guys. Obviously, as you get into that final event, if you're 30, you're already 10 shots behind, right, starting the tournament. So you got to kind of position yourself in those first 2 events to make sure that you're at least, probably you got to say maybe in the top 5. Other than that, once you get outside that top 5, you got to really, throw a few, big rounds out there to make some moves. So, again, I think you're looking at your Scotty Scheffler, your Cam Smith, Sam Burns, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay are your top 5 right now. I think I'd probably throw Rory McIlroy as the 6th player into that mix a little bit. So if you're a Tony Finau, Justin Thomas, Cam Young, Matsuyama, Will Zalatoris, Matt Poma kind of people, you need to have probably a win in one of these first 2 events to get you up a little bit closer to the top of that leaderboard. I mean, going into this thing, Scotty Scheffler has a pretty decent lead, so you got to kind of make it happen.
Greeny, I'm sure you've had this topic probably on your show and over a beer a million times, but in your perfect world, what would a golf postseason look like or a tournament look like? Should there even be one? Should it just, go to who played the best throughout the year? Should there be a bracket format? Like in your perfect world, what would it look like at the end of the golf season?
I've been okay with everything, and I actually think that next year when they pare it down and it's just the top 70 make the playoffs, I think when you talk 125, that's a little much. So we're going to change it up, and we're basically going to pare it down a little bit quicker the next time around. I think we're going to go from like 70 to 50 to the 30. It makes a little more sense because you're basically saying that, hey, every single player that makes the playoffs in the top 70 is going to play every round, right? So, when you have 125, you got to have a cut in that first event. So you got a guy that maybe has a bad round coming out of the gate, misses the cut by one, and he's done, right? Now, if you got 70 guys, they all play 4 rounds. Maybe you have that bad round in the first playoff event, then you light it up for the next 3, and you survive and make it on to the next round. So I kind of like the 70 format. The only thing I don't like is this final with the staggered start. I would just assume see some kind of, out of these 2 events leading up to the final, I'd like to see some kind of seeding, your average finish between the first 2 events, and the top 32 guys end up in match play. And then it becomes a single elimination match play bracket, and winner takes all. I mean, that way it's not score. It's 2 guys going out there on a Sunday afternoon in Atlanta and battling for the title. And you can have some other matches, too, for positioning. I mean, you can have a 3-4 match. You can have a 5-6 match, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that you have more than 2 guys out in the golf course, because these guys are playing for some pretty decent money in that final round.
Yeah, I like the match play idea. I think that'd be great for TV, for drama, and I'm on board with that one. Mark Greenhill's Golf Shop Radio Show joining us. Hall of Fame game was last night, Greeny. We are just over a week away from Panthers Commanders up in Landover, Maryland, next Saturday. So you'll be having some football to talk about, actual games to talk about very soon, and exciting stuff, right, as we start to get closer and closer to football.
Well, is it really exciting, though? I didn't even watch any of that game last night, but because I saw the roster of guys that weren't playing for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And it was almost their entire starting lineup, right? So you're like, okay, you look at preseason, especially probably the first couple of games at this point, with only 3 now. You look at the first couple, those are your depth guys, right? So now you want to see how your depth is going to stack up against the other team's depth. Obviously, the Raiders' depth is much better. They were up, 20-0 in that game. Their depth is obviously pretty good compared to the Jaguars. So that's what you kind of look at. And I think that's when traditionally you've seen the Panthers over the last couple of years have some good starts and some really bad finishes to their season. It's because, to me, their depth. They start getting some injuries, and they don't have the depth to back it up. You need to build that depth. So when you look at these preseason games, there's guys that are trying to make the team, but I think I look at it more of as, how are my depth guys doing in that first half of these football games against the other team's depth? If my guys are winning, I feel pretty good about it. I don't care what the end result is in the fourth quarter, because those are probably guys that are either not going to make the team or going to be, the 3rd or 4th string guys somewhere in the lineup.
Mark Greenhill's Golf Shop Radio Show joining us. You can check it out 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Pirate Radio on Saturday. Greeny, what do you have planned for Saturday's show?
Well, we're going to obviously talk to our man, Bill Bender of the Sporting News. We're going to check in with the great voice of the NFL and college football and PGA Tour radio, Bill Rosinski, up at the Wyndham Championship. We're going to go back over to Memphis and talk to Bert Spain, who's running the FedEx St. Jude, the first playoff event. Then we'll check in with David Lake, the president and CEO of One Iron Golf, so Single Length Golf Club. We'll talk all that on Saturday's show.
Awesome stuff. Greeny, thanks for joining us today. Have a great weekend, man, and we will talk to you next Friday right here on Pirate Radio Live.
All right, thanks a lot, Cliff. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Mark Greenhill's Golf Shop Radio Show joining us. And as we talked about at the beginning of that interview, Harold Varner III missing the cut at the Wyndham today. So disappointing stuff there. But hopefully he can rebound and make a run in the playoffs. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back and talk to Brian North, bringing the closer here on a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. More to go after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
At Parker's Barbecue, our family has been serving your family for 3 generations.
For that, we say thank you.
Blessing families every Thursday. Kids eat free all day. That's the Parker's way.
Legendary food served from our 3 locations. Always quick, always delicious. That's the Parker's way.
At Parker's, our mission is to impact our customers through Christ-like service in a way that feeds them both physically and spiritually. That is the Parker's way.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank that's in your corner when you need them. This is Chris Richards from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Ashley Capps, Bonner Latham, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business, come and see one of our experienced team members at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive. Member FDIC.
Winslow's is now Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room. With a brand new look, Fifth Street Hardware also has a new menu and serving lunch and dinner every Tuesday through Sunday and brunch starting at 10:30 on Sundays. What else is new? Well, they have poker every Tuesday night, Trivia Wednesday with DJ Captain Morgan, and on Friday and Saturday nights they have live music open till 2 a.m. serving light appetizers all night long. New look, new name, same location on Fifth Street. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for more specials. Fifth Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
Hey Birdland, get ready to honor 2-time World Series champion Boog Powell at Camden Yards on Saturday, August 20th at 4:05. Before, you can catch the AL East rivalry when the Orioles face the Boston Red Sox. Arrive early because the first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive a Boog Powell bobblehead. Then don't forget to stop by Boog's Barbecue for a bite to eat. Tickets start as low as $15 with additional special offers available. Secure your tickets now at Orioles.com/tickets.
UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. I've been in Greenville over 25 years. I'm a proud graduate of ECU. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, then give me a call today and let me help make your real estate process fun and easy. I keep it simple and explain the process every step of the way. My goals are your goals. There are no long-term contracts, and you always deal with me from start to finish. The right home starts with the right agent. Call me, Scott Harris, at 347-1857. Go Pirates!
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese, biscuits, and country food around. They're open every day and they have two locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for boat owners. Country Mart fueling you up with great food and your engines with great gasoline. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, back with you, Pirate Radio Live here on a Friday. Matt Hager taking home the 18-pack of 12-ounce bottles of Bud Light earlier today as part of our Free Beer Friday giveaway. Looking forward to the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Looking forward to the Pirate Radio football kickoff party. Bud Light, a sponsor of that as well. Breakfast Club will be jamming coming up September 1st. Get your tickets right now, pr927fm.com. And you can get your tickets for just $10. So we're going to have a good time.
This guy yesterday said $75.
I would pay $75 for a ticket. But
me too.
But I mean,
but you don't have to because they're only $10.
Only $10. Guest alert coming up Monday on the show. There'll be no flags in this studio.
No flags!
Kevin Monroe.
Ball out!
I haven't talked to Kevin this summer or this upcoming football season, to preview the Pirates. So we'll do that for the first time coming up Monday afternoon.
The greatest of all time when it comes to costumes at Halloween.
That's right. We learned that last year. And, he sent us some pictures. And nobody does Halloween like Kevin Monroe.
So serious.
That's a good point. All right, let's head out to the Pirate Radio Live line and talk to Brian North here on this Friday. He joins us today here on PRL. North, how you doing today, sir?
Good. I feel like Rob Dibble. Remember crazy Rob Dibble back in the day? I'm all hyped up to be your closer today. It's been a fun week of football and challenges, and it's been interesting, but I've learned a lot, and I've enjoyed it, and I feel like I'm a better man.
You don't fight your bosses like Dibble did Lou Piniella back in the day, do you?
Well.
Not to that degree, hopefully.
Yeah, not yet. Correct, not yet. Let's hope not. So.
Brian, what you been up to? You had you always find interesting things to do and find stories. So tell us what you've been up to today.
Today was an interesting one. I went to Pamlico County. He's got a new football coach, Bobby Griffin. He's a former West Craven and Elon football player. He's been an assistant at West Craven for years, but he took the Pamlico County job, and as all young, new coaches want to do, they always want to have that really cool impact. And so he loaded up his players onto a bus. There's not that many of them in Pamlico County. And they drove to Camp Vandermeer, and they had a Remember the Titans-style camp that they're doing this weekend.
Oh, wow.
It's not quite, when I was thinking of it at first, I was thinking, when they went to Remember the Titans, they went to Gettysburg, and it was Spartan, and they were practicing at night. But when I showed up, the kids were in the kayak in the river and having fun. And I don't know how Remember the Titans-ish it's going to be, but it's just one of those cool bonding things that you do when you're a new head coach and you try all these tricks. And look, I've never been to Camp Vandermeer before. I'm learning all about the town of Vandermeer, which used to be the county, Pamlico County, and has a lot of history, although only 250 people live there. But it was cool. It was I always love learning the history of Eastern North Carolina, and found out a little bit more about a little small piece of it today.
Good stuff. Got to keep it fresh. Got to find something new, something different to keep your kids, engaged. That's a bigger challenge today than it was 60 years ago, Brian, to keep kids engaged and off their phones and all that stuff.
Everybody, when we used to show up at games, we were the big camera. That's where everybody would see themselves later on TV. Now everybody carries their own camera.
Yeah.
And barely anybody gets excited or bats an eye when you walk in with a TV camera anymore. Some still do. I mean, but it's nothing like it used to be. Certainly the culture has changed.
Hey, Brian, you're still big with the parents and the moms, just not the players anymore.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who I'm big with. As long as the paycheck cashes every 2 weeks, I'm happy. But it's fun. The camera gets you at least conversations with people. You get to know people. But It's not the reveling moment of when you walk in, everybody looks and goes, "Oh my God, look, a camera's here." They don't. No one bats an eye anymore. But it's still kind of a neat thing, and they will still watch it. They know they're going to be on TV. They'll make a point of it, and that's what we're trying to do. We're all fighting for your personal time at this point, right? I mean, it always used to be TV was what you would go to watch. Now with cell phones, and YouTube, and the internet, and all those things, we're all battling for a little piece of your time now.
Brian North joining us as we get closer to football. Hall of Fame game last night, East Carolina. Practice underway as well as the other college football programs in the country, Brian. And Mike Houston saying what every coach is saying right now across the country. He's optimistic. He likes his team. Yep. I will say Mike Houston's pretty honest with us, not completely honest because no coach is, but he was very pleased after day one. Made a note to talk about his veterans showing up. I guess his expectation was, look, you've been here 3, 4, 5 years now, talking of Holton, talking of Miles Berry, Xavier Smith, the guys that have been around so long. And even his, Keaton Mitchell, Rajay Harris are third-year guys, but they've played so much. They're pretty much veterans at this point. And he was very pleased at how they came in and kind of led practice. And so a lot of positivity, I'll say, coming out of the East Carolina camp here week one.
Well, I was at the first practice for as long as we were allowed to be there, and I always kind of look at things. I look at tempo, I look at body language, I look at those things, and I'm telling you, man, world of difference. The first day when everybody is always excited and has that energy, the crispness with which I saw things being executed. From the moment I got there, first of all, they were on the practice field early. They said they were going to start at 9:40. They were all there. I showed up at 9:25, and there was a full practice going on. So they already were chomping at the bit, but the crispness of just the stretching and running drills just looked different, more complicated. I'm like, okay, this is the evolution here of Mike Houston that we've seen in every stop that he has made. This being his longest stop and being his biggest rebuild, but you can see the roster is rebuilt. You can see the weight room efforts. Guys look a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit crisper. The talent you see out there, deeper. So it has that look, and it all starts from Mike Houston. And I was impressed. And again, it's early, and the schedule is tough, but I liked what I saw from the best guys. That the top running backs he talked about. The offensive line looks so much better to me, and the defensive guys that were flying around. And that's one of the Mike Houston signatures when he was at JMU, especially that ball-hawking, turnover-forcing defense. And so that's the thing I think where they're going to make the biggest improvement this year that I'm really looking forward to.
Brian North joining us. We've talked about the week one opponent quite a bit here this summer, Brian, NC State. You and I love to talk about Wake Forest every Friday during the football season. Duke's not going to be good this year. How about North Carolina? I feel like this is a good thing for Mac Brown and the Tar Heels that nobody's really talking about them now. Everybody was going into last year, and we could kind of predict how that was going to go. Overrated and lost week one to Virginia Tech, I believe, and never really recovered from that. So what are the expectations in Chapel Hill this year? It kind of flying under the radar, at least right now.
Right, and it all is based on Sam Howell. I think everybody's expectations were based on who everyone thought was going to be the number one pick in the draft, and no one was looking at the depleted offensive line. Very few people were looking at the depletion of running backs that really made Sam Howell a much better play-action quarterback. And so, okay, Sam Howell's out. You got a 2-quarterback deal there now, and so not having a notable starting quarterback is why those expectations are tempered. But the offensive line is going to be better again this year. I think the defense is going to be better. He's been stacking talent at Chapel Hill, right? I mean, he's shed guys like Camaro Edmonds, who's now at ECU, who was a very talented and highly recruited guy, but because they had so much good talent in that running back room, they were fine with having Camaro leave. Like they didn't make a big effort to stop him because they've got so much talent stacked there. Now, as Mac Browners want to do, he gets the talent stacked, and now it's a matter of getting it to execute on the field. I think he's got a better coaching staff set up for himself this year. So I think Carolina's going to – I think they like this position better, not going in with the expectations, and then all of a sudden about 4 games in, we're going to be going, North Carolina's pretty good. So I expect them to have a rebound year.
Brian North joining us. North, saw this earlier this week. Didn't mention it until earlier today briefly on the show, but I don't know. You follow local sports, North Carolina sports. Any thoughts on Campbell joining the CAA and what that will mean for the Camels moving forward?
It's funny because Hampton already jumped over to the CAA, right? And they were in the Big South before, and so now I always joke that ECU always followed a little late, so they joined Conference USA. Everybody left. They joined the AAC East.
Yeah.
Campbell is kind of doing the same thing. You know, the CAA has been such a great league for so long, but then all of a sudden JMU leaves and a couple other teams leave, and it's not quite the CAA it used to be.
Yeah.
So Campbell might be showing up a little late to the party, but they're still at least in the party. The Big South they're a part of now is about to crumble, at least football-wise. I don't know how they're going to survive once they lose the couple of A&T's leaving, and now and Campbell's leaving. So that's not going to leave them with very much. So good move by Campbell. It salvages a little bit, but I'm not sure it's quite the CAA that it used to be a few years ago.
Yeah, conference realignment affecting everything as the dominoes continue to fall, even at the FCS level. And CAA basketball, still a good. I like watching that tournament every year, Brian, and still get some good teams there.
Oh, no, look, the football has been great there, and so is the basketball. And the baseball's actually been a good conference there. I've always thought the CAA has been underrated. Now, I'm a JMU homer, and I knew, CAA is where they lived for 30 years, but now they're gone from there. So it's easier for me to say the CAA isn't as good as it used to be because JMU's not there. But now it's still a solid conference outside of football. Even the football's not bad. It's just not as strong as it used to be.
Well, how about JMU in the Fun Belt, Brian? A new look Sun Belt, which is a really good football league. How did the Dukes fit in there, you think?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, they're picked to finish second to last in their division, which is natural because they're a new team making the jump up to 1A. But they are loaded. It's just that Sun Belt's good. I wished that ECU was in the Sun Belt. I like that position better than the AAC, especially for the future. It's more of a Eastern regional league. It's got really good football teams in it. So I'm jealous. If you're an ECU fan, I'm kind of jealous that JMU's in there and ECU isn't. Although, look, the AAC hasn't been bad, but once they lose Houston and Cincinnati and Central Florida, I mean, that's going to be a big hit to that conference. But I think the Sun Belt, the best days are ahead of that conference. They've done it the right way. The regional concept is really what college sports should be all about. And so I'm hoping, for personal reasons and for just sentimental reasons, I'm hoping an old-school regional conference has great success.
Yeah, I mean, if all things are even, speaking on money, it obviously would make more sense for East Carolina to be in a conference like that. And then when you factor in what's coming in next year with like North Texas and UTSA and schools like that, I mean, would you rather play them or would you rather play these area schools from the Sun Belt? That answer is an easy one. So unfortunately, though, it all comes down to where you can get the most dollars, and apparently that's going to be the AAC, at least moving forward here, it looks like.
In the short term, right?
Yeah,
chasing that short-term money. But long-term, I'm telling you, Sun Belt, then you look at the regional rivalries ECU would have if they were in there with Old Dominion and JMU and App State and Marshall, and Coastal Carolina. I mean, they fit right in the middle of that. It's a brilliant no-brainer, and maybe it could still happen, but you're right, TV money rules, and right now the Sun Belt isn't quite the TV money that the AAC is, but when that next contract comes up.
Brian North joining us on a Friday. North, appreciate your time as always. Enjoyed it, and we will catch up with you again next week. We'll be 1 week closer to some real football games.
All right, we're getting there. Look, it was good to see the first NFL preseason game. Havelock native Kendall Vickers with the quarterback sack in the game. So, yeah, I'm starting to get pretty excited about it.
There you go. I knew you'd find a local angle with the Hall of Fame game last night. Well done. North, enjoyed it, man. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, sounds good, Clipper.
Brian North joining us on a Friday edition of Pirate Radio Live. We'll take our final time out, come back, get ready to wrap up today's edition, and send you off into the weekend. Back with you after this.
In studio with Jeff Stein from Brown & Wood. What's new, Jeff?
For service, we're doing touchless pickup and drop-offs. So when you pull your vehicle in, we greet you at the car and open the door for you, but, we're putting plastic on the seats. We're having a steering wheel cover put on. We even have shift knob covers now this year. And then we have the customer actually drop the key in a baggie, and they're the next one to touch that key when it comes out of the baggie when they pick up their vehicle. So just want to make sure we take care of the customers that voted us number one.
Brown & Wood, your number one dealership in Greenville and the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
So, how does short points work?
Well, at Jersey Mike's, 6 regular number 13s plus 3 giant number 7s equals a free regular number 13. So, Pepsi and Lay's now earn more points towards free subs.
That adds up.
Exactly. Download the Jersey Mike's app and earn rewards towards free subs with every sub, Pepsi, and Lay's you purchase.
Do you want to feel healthier and have more energy? The secret is all in what you eat. At Kinetic Physical Therapy and Wellness, we have certified dietitians to provide you with accurate advice on the eating plan and the lifestyle choices that you need to make to help you live well. You need more than just an internet search to be able to get a plan that fits your unique needs. Your dietitian will customize an eating plan that is specific to your goals, your budget, and your lifestyle, while providing coaching along the way so you can live well. Sign up today at kptonline.com.
Pirate fans, the 2022 football season is going to be one for the record books. East Carolina is coming off a 7-win bowl season, and 2022 is shaping up to be even better. The Pirates need you to pack Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium this fall with a great home slate that includes in-state rival North Carolina State. The American Conference schedule features home games against UCF, Memphis, Houston, and Navy. Season tickets are on sale for as low as $125. Get your tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's now has 2 locations, in Greenville across from Ron Ayers Motorsports and the Chocowinity location next to the fire department. Stop in today for hot dogs, pizza, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity featuring homemade cheese, ham and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some. Go Pirates.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Unfortunately, many organizations today simply react to IT issues after the damage is done. This is known as the break-fix cycle in the tech service industry. University PC Care's Business Services Division has a better way, a proactive solution called BizCare. What's at your office? Call William at University PC Care today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Hello, Pirate Nation. This is Kyle Gaines at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We are growing, so is our service department. We're adding more space to provide a faster, more affordable service for you. Come sit down with our team and let us customize your next Jeep or truck. Have the freedom to pick out your own lift, wheels, and tires and more. Drive a little, save a lot when it comes to customizing your next vehicle. We're at Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, located off 264 West in Washington, North Carolina, and online at WashingtonChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
What's up? This is Bryson Worrell, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, the official beer of the ECU Pirates, and proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Taking a quick look at your stock market report. The Dow was up 76 points and closed out the week at 32,803. The NASDAQ was down 63 at 12,657. S&P dropped 6 points closed out the week at $4,145. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors LLC, member SIPC. Now let's head back into the show. Here's Clip.
All right, love to do the little milestones, but this will be the last Friday without any kind of football for a really long time. Because you think about it, preseason next week, then high school begins the following week.
I saw something yesterday.
I saw the light, and I was baptized. But anyway, go ahead.
Right, and that's a good point. But it said, yes, I saw something yesterday that yesterday kind of marked the first week.
Oh boy, We've already said this earlier in the show.
What?
Way better than you're about to say it.
Wait, there's football on every week until the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I think it was Weaver. It was somebody, yeah.
Oh, well, I wanted to reiterate that.
Okay.
What about a story? An exciting time it is here in August.
Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah, like you just joined the show to the last 2 minutes.
For those just tuning in.
You just looked at a calendar for the first time. Like you just woke up out of a coma.
I did. I was in a coma.
I would love to go in a coma.
Really?
Pirate Radio out of context.
I would love to go into a coma.
In a sentence. That's it. I didn't have anything to add to that sentence. After March to, if my family would join me in the coma, I'd have to talk to my family because I don't want to miss, my daughter growing up and stuff. But I want to go in a sports coma.
This really well. I'm glad that I wasn't the only idiot on this segment.
If you're just joining us, Chandler is lost, and Clip wants to be in a coma.
We kind of quit the show about 5 minutes ago. This is like bonus material. Sports coma right after the NCAA basketball tournament. Wake me up about now.
Before you
go.
No
ECU baseball? We'll just tell you when you wake up. How about when ECU baseball ends?
Okay.
Until now.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Sign me up for a coma.
Sign me up. All right, Chan Man, have a good weekend.
All right, buddy, you too.
Shirley, have a great weekend.
I plan on it.
CJ, have a magnificent weekend.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you Monday right here. This very microphone, Pirate Radio Live. Until then, for the crew here, I'm Clip Brock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
He's live. He's nationwide on CBS Sports Radio. This is the Zach Gelb Show.